Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Look at Ahmed Thompson, his defensive instincts. Thompson to the rack, post was there. Thompson, the Houston Rockets, with a prolific offensive performance, built up a 30-point lead, and they get this series back to San Francisco. There's Lundell, the counter to Marchand. Marchand pulls up, the score! Restorated off the feed from Marchand. The insurance goal on a 4-point night for Restorated. Peter and Appleton in a battle. Sapper takes it. He feeds Keon. Directing it back, Sapper. Rips shot. They score! Nino Niederreiter in front.
Get some traffic in front. Take his eyes away, and that's what Nino Niederreiter does.
Bowers into the gap in right center. That could score everybody. It hits off the wall. One runs in, two runs are in. Hoskins is held. The Brewers take the lead on the double by Bowers.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports.
I caught that too.
What's that?
It didn't sound like my fave.
Yeah, didn't sound the best. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Central Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How are we doing?
We're doing all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're not a great night of basketball for either of us.
No.
Not
But
ideal.
Mine was expected. Mine just kind of typifies.
Just who they are.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. I'll keep it brief. Just kind of typifies what's going on, right? I mean, it's rainy, it's overcast.
Yeah.
I had to take Micah to school, which gave me plenty of opportunity to play some good music.
Yeah. What were we listening to this morning?
You see me circle the parking lot?
Huh.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you want to know.
That thing wet.
I cannot. I have to just keep it 100. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making eye contact with you. It was kind of a weird morning. I was listening to Little Teddy Swims.
Okay.
Bet on Fire.
Okay.
Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn all the way to the ground.
You're a big Teddy Swims guy.
I am, actually. I was listening to, you're going to make a joke because you've referenced him to me before, but it is his son. One Darius Rucker has a son. He has this song called To Be a Man, which is actually, dang, I think it's still going. Oh, it is.
It's following you a little bit.
That is weird. Let me shut this off. I am so sorry. Just basically about the Cliff Notes version are sometimes it's just not appreciated, and kind of how sometimes men fall into this role of just provide, keep the lights on, and sometimes it's a lot bigger than that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like and how we pass it on to like your offspring.
Yeah.
So we teach like this cycle of
Just provide.
Yeah. And then we complain about that all people think we do is provide.
Yeah.
And then little Lauren Daigle.
Okay.
And that was it, because Micah was talking a fair amount. Wants to know if you'd like to revisit either of the Thompson twins.
It's funny, when he was in the car with me, he wasn't talking a lot of trash.
So here's the thing. He didn't get the vibe that you're very confrontational. So he just wanted to talk. He's like, oh, he knows a lot about a lot. Like, I don't think he felt like you were combative.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, that's the biggest lie ever told. Like, he oozes combativeness. It's just that he knows you're only 14, so he probably chilled. Even though if you give him another day or two of taking you around town, he will be the ugly ogre that he really is. He couldn't care less about your age. That's what I would have told.
So revisiting.
Did my barber get into it at all?
Not really. He was chatting with Micah, and then I was on the phone with you for a minute while I was there, and then
Yeah, your boy was annoyed.
Because
I got the notification that the appointment was at 11:45, and I was like, oh shoot, he's late. And you're like, no, he's in the chair. I'm like, well, fudge, he's early? I thought if anything, he'd be a couple minutes late because it's only like 11:28.
Yeah.
And I'm on the road, obviously, and I'm thinking, Oh, that's for me tomorrow. He gives them.
He gives 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know?
That's what most people do. I'm guessing he uses a similar system to some of
Yeah.
the other people I've been around.
Got a lot of brother barbers, do you?
No, but I know a lot of people in the industry
Do you?
in general. Yeah, one of my best friends is works at
How many best friends do you have? Because I feel like we've given that moniker to about 4.
There's several. That's why I say one of.
Really?
Yeah. There's several people in my life I am very, very close to.
Ah, bless your heart.
Yeah. I appreciate them.
I should try that.
I got you.
Appreciate that. We're out here. Hey,
But
you
no-
don't even ever say the best line. I'm not going to allow you to play that. I'm going to trademark that. Well, technically, Hurrdat does own it.
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, man, he never plays that part.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying it.
We're out here. This is the field where the magic happens.
I mean, you are, so
Shut up.
I'm not saying
I
it.
hope we're all in the same gang. Your Jets are continuing to win, so that's fine.
The Winnipeg Jets up 3-2.
His Avs could be in trouble. We'll see. They better close it out tonight because they don't want a game set. You've seen this play out before with the Stars. You have to be on pins and needles. And as predicted, I told you the fake show. This is exactly what would happen to them. And so now what happens?
Mhm.
The same thing that happens if we would have drafted one Shedior Sanders. You're going to be part of the news cycle unnecessarily
you're not
because
winning.
people pretend like they didn't know you rot. You rot, LA. Okay? I'm just today is just get it all out day. like what did we think was going to happen? And here's my favorite.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you decide you want to freaking do some chest flies at 420. You turn on the television.
Mhm.
Shouldn't have turned on the television.
No, Lakers stuff, huh?
And
Right away.
Micah was down there with his PS5, so nothing was plugged correctly. And I've limited the cords. You really only need like 2 things. Just
Yeah.
boom, boom. Like just ting, ting, ting. Good. HDMI. Like cool.
Yeah.
Eh.
Struggling.
So I'm mad because I have to. It's this thing. The flat screen is like mounted to the wall, and it's very thin.
Mhm.
I felt like the scene in Grown Ups 2 where they go to the cabin with Toby Bryant. This lady was talking about her bunions. I about threw up, but and Chris Rock goes, "Ugh, I didn't know we were going to be rooming with Toby Bryant."
It's okay when you do the voice. I can't do the voice.
I'm black.
Oh, okay.
Still, I think, although Severe says it's a crapshoot.
I hadn't noticed.
Anyway, so I'm listening to, who was it? I don't know. It was one of those knuckleheads, and it had to be one of the first shows because it's early.
Yeah.
Right, and then they'll put them on repeat. But it was, would AD and Luka have been a better fit for this playoff run for the Lakers? I'm like, if you guys don't knock it off, like, stop. Now we're gonna They got their asses sent back to the house. They didn't have to go. They didn't have to get on a flight. They just had to get on the Pacific Coast Highway because they were at the house when they got sent home by one Aunt Edwards, who, by the way, is developing that reputation. And if he would have got past Luka last year, he's developing that reputation of having dudes get their Samsonite, grab them by the handles, and get up on out of here.
Yeah, he's getting a little giant killer to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, the Lakers are 2-12 in their last 14 playoff games. So,
and LeBron's a million, and but
they did go through his Hall of Fame All-Star
teammates.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
How many he's had?
Oh. And they were arguing about even prime versus prime. Like, they didn't even count Ray Allen.
Oh, really?
Because Ray
he was post-prime Ray.
Was post-prime.
Still pretty good.
He
still pretty good. He hit the most important shot of LeBron's life.
No, Kyrie did that.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, like, what are you laughing at? This dude is like, are you jamming Skittles down your throat, or what are you putting down your cake
exactly
hole?
right.
He's laughing because the Kyrie.
No, I
want to
know what he's eating. I'm not talking to you right now.
All right.
Well, I'm eating almonds.
Oh, fudge.
Almonds.
My man.
What brand? What brand?
Deion Sanders says to eat almonds, so I mean, I'm eating almonds.
What's up, girl?
What brand we messing with this morning, Shane?
Blue Diamond.
Okay. Because nuts are one of those things. Like, if you go plain label or knockoff,
No.
They get a little.
I mean, you ever had a stale nut? You could you're rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Roasted salted.
I'm not in the mood for your childishness this morning. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I don't need the smirk, the grimaces, the snickers, the kikis, nothing.
I kept that under wraps pretty good.
It's fine. But here's the thing. If you do know about stale nuts, then we shouldn't be having this conversation anyway. So you just keep it pushing.
It's just a funny term.
Yeah, knock it off.
It's just a funny term.
All right. I'm telling you, your boy is extremely volatile this morning.
I can tell.
You guys better knock it off. Knock it off, all right?
You know what's funny is
No.
I actually was thinking about the Thompson twins and my conversation with Micah yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about.
Was it ours?
No, I do listen back sometimes to see how. Sometimes it goes differently than you think it went, and so sometimes I'll listen back to be like, "Did that go how I wanted it to?"
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to go back and listen to race relations because I had a good buddy, my buddy Mike.
The Shador conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we weren't going to go back and get the second part, we went back and got the second part because our draft, he got bumped back a day because he had to take his little shorty to. Wait, she had to go to emergent care or something, right? I ain't gonna put his business out there, but
Yeah, he had family stuff.
so we went back and got in the 9 o'clock hour the second part of that conversation, which ended up like apparently a lot of people like that. So I asked you, I was like, hey, I probably need to go back and listen to that. And because Amazing Daniel was like, it's not often that I'm driving, and I'll say something because he's listened to me for
however many years.
Where he'll spit his coffee out, and it wasn't to laugh, right?
Yeah.
It's like it just caught him off guard, and I was like, let me go back. I was like, damn, I kind of did go there. But as my buddy Mike said, those are the conversations you have to be able to have if you want to move those things forward. And I said, unfortunately, unfortunately, the impromptu off-the-cuff stuff when we go there is probably the good stuff. It's just, you just never know how.
You don't know how you're going to get there.
Or, yeah.
Or when.
Like it can, it can be, I guess the word is jarring.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
Oh, my mom called me on the whole, I told you when I was downstairs talking, when my dad was mad at me when I came home late. Even though I thought about that story, I'm like, I'm not even really living at your house. Like I'm in college, but I guess I'm going to embrace getting cussed out, even though you don't cuss, because I am sleeping under your roof.
Yeah.
But she goes, well, how come you didn't say when he asked you what your problem was? I was like, is it Michael Bolton? Who's the guy that didn't have the heart? I don't have the heart to love you.
Yeah, that sounds totally like Michael Bolton.
No, I'm thinking of Michael Bolton because he has glioblastoma, which is the same thing that I just lost.
James Ingram?
Yes. How did I not know the black guy? And you did. Well, he's light skinned. That don't count.
I just Googled it.
That fast?
Yeah, I got it on that one.
You have come a long way.
I'm working on it. I still have my lapses, but I'm trying to get better.
You're a walking lapse.
Well, yeah, it happens.
So anyway, to fast forward to the end of these shenanigans, we're going to talk about what's wrong with this team as if we didn't know what's wrong with this team. And we're actually going to keep their sorry behinds current. Let's not do that.
Just want to kill them? They're dead?
Listen, you got out-coached. You hired no disrespect to podcast, because I would hire me to do something. I just don't know if it would be to coach an NBA team. You hired the podcast partner. You put together a shabby roster. You somehow convinced yourselves that when you're getting a rim-protecting center that you're going to go out of your way to decline the trade and say he didn't pass a physical, and everybody's going to look at you sideways. And you're going to surround yourself with a bunch of Shanes out here at like 5'1", trying to defend. And you have a 40-some-year-old guy that needs to start to stagger his minutes. And his wingman wears his shorts like he played in the 90s. That's all you need to know. When you start going back to the baggy shorts that come down to your kneecaps, you got the wrong guy. And I'm not saying you got to be Stockton or Hornacek or Little Booty Trudy or anything like that. But when he fell on his bunda, and I think it was his back, and he had to kind of hobble off the court, and he was like, he put his hand behind it. I'm like, how do you even know what to grab? You got about 6 feet of cloth. Is it the top of your butt, the bottom of your butt, the middle of your butt? It's all starting to run together. You're 6'7", and 6 feet of it is your basketball shorts. Knock it off. I can't even take you seriously. You look like a frump.
That never crossed my mind.
Well,
as I'm watching that yesterday.
This is all about vantage points, Ravi.
There's a lot that crossed my mind while I'm watching the Lakers.
But not wearing 6 feet of short material is one of them.
No, that didn't come up as I was going through the old brain there. It was
Shane. Is this giving you remnants of spicy chicken?
Don't matter to me.
I had a famous meltdown once
about spicy chicken.
Yes, you did.
It wasn't even really a meltdown. It had grown legs.
Are you pro or con spicy chicken?
Pro.
Okay.
And it was not. And it was.
So you got some spicy chicken that wasn't spicy?
I ordered spicy chicken, but it came back as mild.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And bless her heart, she was just trying to do me a solid.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, they were out and I knew you were hungry. And I just simply said, now, how would you take this? I just simply said,
okay,
this is honest to God's truth.
Yeah.
This isn't revisionist history.
Okay.
It was, hey, I appreciate it. But I did say but. That was before I knew the difference between but and.
Yeah.
I should have said and, but I said but. The whole point of a preference is you prefer one over the other. I don't eat this. And of course, my partner at the time totally gassed it up and made it seem like you're the mean one, Mr. Grinch. So it became dubbed Don't Go Spicy Chicken. That's where that came from.
Gotcha.
She was doing me a solid though.
Yeah.
I just wasn't gonna, like I don't eat it. Like I didn't eat it. So therefore that people thought I was doing that in protest. I'm not this isn't the 60 Olympics, man. I just don't like it. So I didn't eat it. I wasn't making some unified statement.
You're not going all John Carlos on me or anything?
No.
Cool.
No. Hashtag too soon.
It's been like almost
but
65 years. All right.
But speaking of boycott, I am going to boycott the sorry Lakers, though.
Well, good for you. It's going to be easier because they're not playing basketball anymore.
Fudge. But now I got to put up with this.
The narratives.
Friggin' stupid Ryan Clark and my man Louis Riddick arguing about should the Steelers not go get a quarterback so they can get a high draft pick. I'm like, if you guys don't stop. There are so many other better teams in the NFL than the Steelers. Is anybody else going to make the news cycle?
Nope.
Shut up.
And we haven't even seen the Cowboys as much as we've seen the Steelers.
Because people know they rot. It's not a good franchise right now.
No.
It's wild.
I mean, listen, there's a lot going on. You know, I feel like with the Lakers, here's part of it too. Part of it's because it's the Lakers. The Lakers make more sense to me than the Steelers.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, because you've got at least a couple of stars that people gravitate towards on the Lakers, so it makes sense that people want to talk about them. I genuinely don't understand the Pittsburgh stuff.
Yeah.
What happened? There's really no. Hey, Russell Wilson did go. That's a plus.
Russell Wilson, what did you do?
That's a positive.
You guys are just piling on.
We're halfway there.
I'm not finding the humor in
much like Bon Jovi.
No, good morning again.
I do understand the Lakers situation.
Did you just hit the living on a prayer?
Well, I said, yeah, we're halfway there.
Sing it.
Oh, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer.
That's Mr. Karaoke, dude.
That's not terrible.
No, you're exactly right.
That wasn't terrible.
You know, it's all right. Just impromptu. The voice isn't warmed up yet. You know, it's still in the first segment. Got a little Kermit the Frog in the voice.
The frick?
Got a little Mahomes in me.
I got a quick question though.
Yeah, what's up?
How were you still at the house at 6:30?
That's about when I leave.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was about to put the backpack on, so I was ready to go. I was right there.
Like Dora?
Yeah, we're going. Well, I'm more of a Diego guy myself, but
yeah, you guys favor.
You know, the nice
sans the beard.
Oh, okay.
Sans the.
not like a swiper guy, 'cause,
Swiper, no swiping.
You know what the nice thing is when you're halfway there?
that show pissed me off so much.
Did it?
Oh, I
Why?
hated that show.
You hated Dora?
So annoying.
Why?
First of all, her voice is very annoying. Not a fan.
Can't be any worse than Caillou. That dude
I'm not a Caillou guy either.
Freaking crybaby.
And it doesn't bother me as much as Wonder Pets, but we're not going to get into the lisp, no lisp thing again because we got in a little trouble last time.
No, I didn't. You did. You're the offensive one.
Got my hand slapped. But no, the voices are very annoying. Also, she's very bossy.
Dora?
Yeah. She's always telling people to find stuff for her, and it's like, hey, it's right in front of you, Dora. Be a little self-sufficient. This feels like learned helplessness. Like I was watching this episode with one of my nieces. This has been like 20 years, so this is traumatizing. Yeah, like 18 years maybe. So we're watching this with Dora the Explorer, and she's like, help me find the mountain. I was like, Dora, it's a freaking mountain. It's right there. How do you not see a mountain?
Maybe she needs glasses.
Listen.
Shane.
You could have glasses and still see a freaking mountain.
I don't need him to be encouraged.
It's a lot of that. She's very bossy, not very self-sufficient. I don't like it. Not a big Dora guy.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Out on Dora the Explorer.
Big Carmen Sandiego guy?
I did like Carmen Sandiego when I was a kid a lot.
Yeah.
Where in the world?
I don't. You could tell me anything and I wouldn't know. I just know the red trench.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. It was pretty
right.
Cool
She wore the little wrap around with the black hat.
Red trench coat. I think the hat was red too.
Oh, well, whatever.
But yeah, it had like the little fedora and the trench coat and the whole thing. Yeah.
All right. The more you know.
They actually, when I was a kid, this is
yesterday.
Back in the day. They did a taping when Oakview Mall opened.
Yeah.
So like early 90s. They did a taping of Carmen Sandiego at Oakview Mall, and I was there and I was in it.
Oh, was that any good?
It was fun. Yeah, it was a good time.
Oh, man.
Back before Oakview Mall got sad, man. You ever been there lately?
So the last time I went to Chokeview was to pick up food at a place called Mr. Rice.
Unfamiliar.
I think it's called Mr. Rice. You get big old bowls of very similar sauces.
If it's not Mr. Rice, you're going to come off as very racist.
Oh, good point. Very good point. I think it's Mr. Rice.
I hope it is for your sake.
Oh, you didn't know?
Damn it. I'm pretty sure.
We're going to Google if Mr. Rice is a thing.
It's like a bunch of different bowls, and they're big bowls. And they have some sort of Asian flair to them.
There is a place called Mr. Rice. I think you're okay.
Thank the Lord.
I think, it looks like it's in Oakview.
That's all I needed. But the little connected place right next door to them, so you just walk down like a register over, has fantastic fried wings.
Oh, okay.
And so it's easy to be a one-stop shop when you have to serve people in our house.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Got a lot of different preferences there.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Oakview's gotten a little sad. It's
I try to avoid the malls.
Sure.
And I very much shop online.
Because you're not like a people, like being out.
So it's not so much the people as much as the convenience of getting something online.
I get that, yeah.
And plus, I pay for Instacart, so you best be god dang sure I'm getting bang.
Use it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I got Dasher Pass, I'm ordering some food.
We are using that thing.
Hey, everybody's like, oh, we'll go out of town for games and stuff. Oh, why don't you leave? I'm getting my money's worth with this Dasher Pass. Okay. I'm not going to go downstairs and eat the good stuff. I'm going to waste money to make myself feel like I'm being efficient with my money by using the Dash Pass.
I get it. I get it.
Makes perfectly sense.
You're going to pay for it anyway. Might as well use it.
I mean, where are you going to eat in Bloomington and West Lafayette?
Nowhere.
Friggin' Bloomington was miserable.
Was it worse than West Lafayette?
Best thing about Bloomington was those donuts the size of people's heads that I didn't even eat.
Yeah, you're not a big donut guy.
No, and I almost fell down the stairs in their press box.
Were you, before you stopped eating carbs, you like donuts or no?
Yeah, there's 3 donuts that I will absolutely bash.
Yeah.
One technically isn't a donut, but pastry. I will crush.
Apple fritter?
An apple fritter.
Yeah.
I will bomb a blueberry cake flake glazed donut. And I will dabble with eating about 34 or 5 of the cinnamon roll ones from Krispy Kreme. Which, by the way, didn't they take those off the menu?
Did they?
I think. I don't know. The only one that rocks Krispy Kreme in our house is Zoe.
The only thing I ever get at Krispy Kreme is just the classic glaze.
Yeah.
I love the regular Krispy Kreme.
Like just glazed?
Yeah, just the normal glazed donuts. Like they're.
Why am I not surprised you're a big glazed guy?
You want to talk about stale nuts some more? Or?
Wow.
Wow. Oh, no.
Just unnecessary.
Get my nut. We got to be careful. You got to get those Blue Diamond.
It's fine. Still traumatized.
Todd's a Danish guy. He likes the Danish.
So I'm not a big fruit in the middle guy of donuts because or of pastry, but I will rock the ham pie. So I don't know if that makes any sense.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like the type of filling you get in a donut is very different than the type of filling you get in a ham pie.
Yeah.
I think.
And I'm not a huge jelly guy.
No. I was when I was a kid, but there's,
I mean, I'll knock off a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a huge jelly donut guy, though.
No, I'm not either.
Yeah.
And
I like donuts. I just, no.
I mean, when I was little, I used to just want the biggest thing. So that kind of fit. But then I think it was the ooey gooey thing. But as people got cheaper, they only gave you like a little squinchy thing of jelly in there. So you'd eat like
90%.
6 inches of dough, and there would be like a thumbnail sketch of goo.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, out on goo.
It's a good policy. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk to Ben McLaughlin.
Should have told me that 4 episodes ago. Micah. No, I'm just kidding. It's very inappropriate. Sorry about that.
We're going to talk to Ben McLaughlin from Husker Radio Network coming up at 8 o'clock.
B-Mac will have some joke. He's a big NBA guy, too. We'll catch up.
At 8:45, we'll talk to Brian Edwards, our Vegas insider. And then at 9 o'clock, the return of Anthony Stabile, the Big A.
Yeah, we got to talk some Derby, man. One of the funniest people on the planet.
Kentucky Derby coming up this
He's got a new
weekend
venture, too.
Yeah, we'll talk to him about what he's doing these days.
Look at his short. Did you see Lucas shorts?
I didn't. We'll follow up.
Well, they look like goddamn pajama bottoms.
We'll follow up on Lucas Shortgate.
Can't be a good player.
Are you being distracted by the tights? Is that what's happening?
Oh, no, man.
You big tights guy?
Big frumpalicious. Gumpalicious.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Yeah, there's so many of them, and I would say, buying them and building them, just this, I've been saying that because of the day, the day we live in right now, the NIL, and obviously we give our guys NIL, the guys that earn it. And so it's more about earning something, and in life you got to earn. If you want to be, worth $50 million, you want to be worth, you want to run a big corporation, you got to pay the price. You got to earn that. No one's going to hand that to you. And I think our sport in particular teaches those lessons. All our sports do. And that's why sports are important. Obviously wrestling's not a money-making sport that football is or basketball is. There's only 2 revenue sports, really, football and men's basketball. And so
and Oklahoma State softball story is a story of growth and success. After getting to visit the team this fall and watching practice and talking with Coach G, I am confident in this team this year.
The best you is really dang good. I mean, it's really good, okay? So just be that. No more, no less.
Lightning in my fingers, and I'm nice on my feet. Heavyweight big swinger, got you saying double while they're counting to 3.
Mizuno and Oklahoma State softball are built for big moments.
Brace yourself. chill that we getting Rico. Big bunny rolls like burritos. Give me that hot sauce, no pico. Give me that.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you keep those eyes focused and straight ahead. You've got one job as a driver. That is to drive. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. DB, do
you think NDOT would slap? I almost said snap. Slap your hand for your inability to park like an adult?
No, I'm in the lines and it's pretty straight. I'm going to take it. I know that I'm not perfectly squared up in the lines.
You do know, like, if there were other people here, though, you'd mess it up for everybody.
Oh, yeah, I know. It happened yesterday.
He's messing it up for everyone. That was that old D.L. Hughley skit, which, by the way, he did not age well.
No, not great.
I'm not talking about the way he looks. He's just gotten strange.
Yeah. I think he used to be funny, and then he stopped at some point.
Yeah.
I don't really know what happened. No, that happened yesterday when we got out of here late, and there were some people here by that point. Yeah, there was a truck pretty close to me.
And that's on you.
Yeah, I said that's totally on me.
Yeah.
Went all Doc Sadler on him.
Did you eat any more of your wings?
And no, I didn't take any home. I ate the ones that you gave me here.
Oh, okay.
And then you took the extras home.
I had 2 garlic parm.
Yeah.
And 2 fiery.
I was trying to get the garlic parm from you, but you were riding with those.
Yeah, and on the reheat.
Yeah. Well, so the thing that you liked about the garlic parm
was the crispness of the skin,
and on the reheat, you're gonna lose some of that, so that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. So it's Brandon, right?
Yeah.
How mortified was he? Did you catch him just side-eyeing me? He was in utter disbelief
when you were cutting your wings.
Yeah. And he sat on it for like 5 minutes, and he
did.
finally goes, so where did using the silverware
He
come
tried
from?
to ask in like the nicest way possible. Like maybe there's a backstory here. Maybe there's some rational explanation to this crazy behavior.
I wasn't trying to really invite the conversation.
Yeah, you were trying to be low-key about it, but it's hard to be low-key about taking a knife and fork to
Because if I just would have answered it honestly real time, it would have led to more questions.
So what's the honest answer versus what you actually said?
I have veneers.
Oh, okay.
Like I got my teeth knocked out.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I was very conscious. I was very self-conscious about pulling things from the bone.
Sure.
Because until my
teeth.
second dentist, so the surgeon, he's not a dentist. It's
like orthodontist.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was both.
Yeah.
So anyway, the great Dr. Gamer was actually who I had some like knockoffs.
Oh, okay.
And they never really worked. And I had a speaking engagement one night. This honest to God true story. And this joker kept coming off, and I'm like, you thought Jagged Edge, the music group, was sweet? These things look like I'd been chewing on chains. I'm talking super snaggle tooth, right? And my nerve was exposed. So man. Okay. So your boy, that's why I have a super high. That's part of the reason why I have a super high pain threshold. But anyway, not enough to take a shot from a silverback, but still. So I called Dr. Gamer in a pinch.
Yeah.
I'm like, Doc, man, I got to be at Boys Town by 6:30. He got me in at 4. His partner was Dr. Carney. They did this magical thing, and he gave me really good porcelain veneers. And I hadn't had any problems since.
Yeah.
But
you're cautious about it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
And then once I got really weird about not I don't want my fingers to smell like food, and I don't want sauce under
Oh,
my
so
nails.
you genuinely don't like stuff on your hands.
I don't.
Though. So I
don't
you weren't
want messy
lying.
hands. No, that's like that's definitely part of it.
You were telling the truth.
But originally,
it was from the teeth.
Because I could always use gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, my old handy dandies.
It's a very normal thing that a lot of people do is just carry rubber gloves in their car.
It is, actually.
I literally don't know a single other person that does that.
Do you ever clean your own car?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't let me fool you. Like, that's part of the reason I carry gloves. But the only other reason they were in there this time is because
you don't want to leave fingerprints at a situation,
It's not true. You shave them.
I thought burning them off was more effective.
So you know what I just found?
What?
There's files that aren't really files.
Mm-hmm.
They're like squishy 3D. They look like rectangles, and they have like rough edges. So they're not like the little filing board. They're like, it's like a rectangle, and you can do lots of things with your nails.
How did you get on that particular
I
topic?
found it in our bathroom.
Hmm.
Lots of tools in there.
Yeah.
Clippers, files. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Oh, and it has these abrasive edges.
What's this for?
Yeah, so I shaved down my cuticles.
They take fingernails off or fingerprints
and you don't have to
off?
worry about clipping.
Yeah, I don't like clipping fingernails is kind of annoying.
Especially when you have bad eyesight.
Oh yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, it's like, ow, I got that short.
Well, and then sometimes you get like hangnails and stuff. It's bad.
No, see, that's why you use that one tool.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And I'm sure it has a name, and people are going to be, not people, because I don't know how many. Anybody can use these tools. I'm just saying. A lot of other people that we listen to may not know what they are.
Our
either.
particular demographic may not know the name.
Michaela, don't come for me.
We got Lucy out there too. Lucy listens to us.
So Michaela was all in on the racism versus prejudice hiring talk because somebody asked the question about Stabile.
Yeah.
And I don't think so. There's three. I don't think people expected me to answer the way that I did.
Mm-hmm.
If Cam Stabile was black, would it be different? Yes.
Yeah.
Why are you deep down really mad at Shador? Well, because he perpetuates the stereotypes. So I'm mad at him.
Yeah.
It's okay for the white guys to be like that, but not for the black, especially me, because people already think less.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. And then the whole difference between this and this.
Sure. Yeah, no, there's a lot in there. There was a wide ranging topics there.
Yeah. So anyway, nice basketball jersey.
Thank you.
Shout out TikTok shop.
We got it. That was like $9.
So I was terrified of the TikTok shop until I had a friend who constantly buys things from the TikTok shop.
Yeah.
And once I figured out it was okay, there are 3 things I have purchased from the TikTok shop. TikTok, yeah. I'm a big David Bars guy.
David Bar. I don't know what that is.
Well, it's not a law firm. It's bars, like protein.
Oh, okay.
And the name of them are David.
Gotcha.
I'm not as big a fan as Micah is a big fan.
Okay.
Because I have to do something to combat the fact that this dude seems to only eat from 8:30 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Just scavenging.
Bruh. I mean, meat sticks just disappear by the truckload.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing? And when are you eating this?
Is he sleep eating? Like instead of sleepwalking?
I don't know. I walked in there last night about 2 o'clock and turned his TV off. I wanted to wake him up, but he looked so peaceful.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder why we always get these streaming notices. Well, that's right. Dude can't turn off his television. Ever.
Yeah.
Phone going. My man has got looked like he was just chilling. Arms, fingers interlocked on his back. Peaceful as all get out.
That's a strange way to sleep.
I know, right? That's giving me weird vibes.
Yeah.
I check, make sure he's breathing.
I would say that's a little like,
I'm dead serious.
That's weird.
Yeah. How about is it any more strange than having a phone next to you blaring?
Blaring is weird. I like to listen to music when I go to sleep.
I do too, but I put a
like a earpiece in.
Which, by the
headphones,
way,
whatever.
I was 51 years old when I learned if you double tap my AirPod.
Oh yeah.
It turns on and off.
Yeah, some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah, never knew that until I was trying to fit it in my ear correctly, and I went ding ding, and I was like,
"What just happened?
Damn, I can't hear anything." And I did it again, and it came back on. So then I pulled it out, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool.
It's magic."
Okay, let's Again. I'm already incriminating myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like to pile on.
But you're the
keep
type
watering
of
the
dude, like,
bamboo.
so I would go to the cliff and I'd be like, oh, man, I wonder how far down that is. I should jump just to, and you'd be like, oh,
I'd be like, you're maybe 6 feet ain't so far down, you know?
wow. Pretty morbid, Creed. Okay, that's fine. I gotta at least know where I stand.
So I'm just saying, between the conversation we had about your cell phone earlier this morning and then the earpiece, that's why I think it's plausible that Jeff Ulbrich isn't very good with his iPad.
How about the fine, though?
Yeah, well, I thought it was pretty steep.
It was extremely steep.
Yeah, that was pretty steep.
I mean, $350K?
Yeah. So part of that's
$250 from the Falcons
and the
and
other.
$100K from.
That's aggressive, though.
It is aggressive.
Yeah.
And I felt like good on him.
Sure.
And he was very contrite. Like, that was a very hard interview because he was embarrassed.
Yeah, 100%. He absolutely was.
Jared would like to know what the Creed reference was.
So it was,
And maybe 6 feet
yeah,
ain't so far down.
One Last Breath. You know, it's just a classic. I don't know what.
What's his name again?
Scott Stapp.
Stapp.
Yep.
Like in The Infection.
Yep. Well, no, that's Staff.
Him too.
Different guy.
Him too. Now we got question marks on the 4-letter network. What are the question marks about?
Is LeBron gonna play again?
I'm so sick. I want to almost
Lucky
cut
for you
this
guys,
off.
that day is not today.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do next, DB?
But I did get some good news last night.
What's that?
Tony Gonsolin looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hadn't pitched in 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, year and a half.
That's what. Yeah.
Year.
What? 2023, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 2020.
6 innings, only 3 earned runs.
Yeah.
LA continues to play softball.
That's good for you. Got to have the softball.
Need a pitching staff.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the cards. They always get hurt. What do you want me to do?
Wait.
For more guys to get hurt?
For some people to leave. I got another trick up my sleeve. Step with Pep to the back of the house. Looked in. Oh, the lights were out.
No, Hunter, we have not talked about Marty Brown yet. We will.
Why does Hunter want? I'm so. Oh gosh, Hunter. Is that why you tuned in, Hunter?
That's a great question.
I did want to talk about Marty Brown because I'm kind of mad
Oh, Hunter.
I'm kind of mad at a lot of people.
Now this is gonna be interesting because I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I baby tossed my phone yesterday
Mm-hmm.
out of frustration.
From people?
It was one simple tweet.
Okay.
And I looked at it.
Yep.
And I sighed. And I gave it the casual whoop. And didn't go back to it.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go. But I did feel a certain way about something in particular.
I've been super frustrated with the Marty Brown narrative and Nebraska's kind of role in recruiting him. Because I just don't think people, I don't know, this happens every time something doesn't go the way we want it to, where all of a sudden the sky's falling no matter what the context is, no matter what other positive things have happened up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm fairly certain Nebraska is going to get a very good quarterback in the 2027 class commit today in Trey Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure that's happening. And you've had this track record. I mean, you saw what happened in the transfer portal of where Nebraska went and attacked and got guys, right? Is it easier to get an offensive tackle out of the transfer portal or a running back?
Running back.
Right, by like 1,000,000 times, right? Offensive tackles are incredibly hard to get out of the transfer portal. What's easier to get out of the transfer portal? A former 5-star edge rusher or a running back? Running back, right?
Yeah.
There's a million more
100%.
of them. What has Nebraska got? Like, so Nebraska obviously saw certain places where there were needs and filled those needs.
Correct.
They obviously do not think running back is that big of a need. Would it have been nice to land Marty Brown? Absolutely. Did they want Marty Brown? Absolutely. But there's two things can be true at once, that they didn't necessarily feel like they needed a running back, and also they tried to get him. There's this narrative out there that either Nebraska has no idea what they're doing at the running back spot, which we've tried to dispel over the course of the last year or so, talking about E.J. Barthel a lot, or the other thing, that they didn't go very hard after Marty Brown. Neither of those things are true. I mean, I don't know how much you want to share. I mean, you've talked about a decent amount already. You were there last week.
Oh, yeah.
With Marty Brown in Lincoln.
Yeah.
Did that seem like a staff that didn't want Marty Brown?
Man, Okay.
The athletic director went to dinner with them. How many athletic directors do you think went to dinner with Marty Brown on this little venture? Probably only just the one. Like, I'm having a hard, just because Nebraska didn't want to write the biggest check or get into a bidding war, doesn't mean they didn't want him.
Yeah. So how much time do we have?
We got like 10 minutes before
I'm trying to operate in a space where I respect all parties. But you're right. A couple of things can be true at once. And you want to know what really upset me?
What's that?
Is that there's the narrative was he was an afterthought.
Yes.
For Nebraska. And that was part of the reason that he didn't go to the university.
Yeah.
Now, I explained this to my friend Dennis. I said, Dennis, I understand. I was not mad at him. I didn't like the word that he used, but he came back and got it. He's like, maybe that word was too strong, but this is how it looks. These are your colleagues in the media that are saying this.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked a couple of those guys. I asked Tim. I asked Shafe. It's no coincidence. It's no secret that those are the two guys that the people that talk to me use as a frame of reference because for number one, because they're well respected. That is
and they're good at what they do.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number 1A is because of the rapport that we have with those two as guests on our show. They are they're just more of the people like those segments of the conversations we have with them. So I am not at all miffed at how that could come. I asked Schaefer, hey, where is this coming from? What did Mike J. Schaefer say? Mike J. said part of it is coming from Marty himself. Marty says, hey, I'm not hearing from Nebraska. Hey, he talked to Brunt. Brunt said this. Fine. At that point, I have a decision to make. Do I try to fix this? Do I try to explain? And I didn't.
Yeah.
I did have the best, most in-depth talk with Shafe. Schaefer clearly knows the most. But I still didn't compromise Marty either.
Yeah.
But Schaefer does know the most, unequivocally. Because I'm talking to him real time, and he's the only person, other than you, a Nebraska staff, that is getting the information as real as you are. Right? What two coaches called during the show in the last 4 days?
You want me to say names?
Yeah.
Barthel.
Yes.
And then Rule?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that happen if Nebraska doesn't want Sharmar Brown?
Absolutely not.
Was Nebraska trailing Cal and Miami from the jump?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're trailing from the jump. But I want to say this, and I understand the perception. I do. I understand this from the recruiting side. I read the tweet. It was tagged. Tim was in it. It was tagged. One of my guys was like, hey, man, you need to go back and listen to DB. I'm not so sure this was the case. So I was going to go back and get it. And I'm like, I'm the only one that really knows the information of the aforementioned. So it doesn't sound – I can't explain it away. Because when you're the only one that knows something and I say something to the contrary of what the popular belief is, I know I could run the risk of being crazy.
Yeah.
So I just didn't – so I tossed my phone. I was like, I'm not getting into this. But I will say a couple of things. Number one, Miami was way ahead of the game. The minute this thing hit the portal and his handler – I'm not even going to quantify it by saying his name. His handlers put it out there. Miami was on it immediately. Hey, this is what we do. This is the number. Bam. In the meantime, Cal was working their ass off.
Yeah.
Right?
They probably worked the hardest.
100%.
Yeah.
Cal worked the hardest.
Yeah.
Cal was here twice. Now, again, one of them was to offer Braylon. But, oh, by the way, while we're here,
Let's make a stop.
Let's make a stop and do a second in-home.
Mm-hmm.
When I called Marty from here, what did Marty say?
Hey, Cal's here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm 5 feet from you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, man, my bad.
Yeah, hey, you hit me back.
Hit me back.
Yeah.
Right? But he answered.
Yeah.
Which lets you know what?
That he was interested.
Okay. Does he have to? Would he answer that call if it wasn't important? He'd just blow me off, right?
Yeah. Or he'd be like, I'll get him later.
Okay.
Whatever.
So Cal worked the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
Miami offered the most. If Nebraska was behind, which we clearly agree they were.
Yeah.
And I'll get to why in a second.
Sure.
Because that's the most important
I think
thing
that's
for the
what
Hunters.
people are mad about.
Right.
Why were they behind?
Why were they behind? It's fair.
Yeah.
It's legit. So and both have to wear some of it.
Mm-hmm. If Nebraska's behind, which we agree they were,
how did they get down to the wire with this thing?
My guess is if they're not offering the most money and they didn't outwork Cal, it's because he really liked them.
100%.
Like you really enjoyed his visit on Thursday.
100%.
That's really the only variable left.
So
right?
Was it a deal of too little, too late? No. But was Nebraska behind? Yes.
Yeah, was the visit and liking them enough to overcome the other stuff?
Right. Now, why was Nebraska slow to go?
Well, one, I think they like their running back room. I think that part's true.
That's number one.
Yeah, they like their room.
That's number one.
They like Ives. They like Nelson. They like EJ.
And I want to say this because I think this is important, man. And there's a certain amount of loyalty that this staff has to not only their culture, but their players in terms of development.
Yeah.
And I got to get on this soapbox here for a second because this is an integral part. And so there's some consternation. You have to be clear about when you bring guys in, because there was only up to that point only one visitor from the portal that had been on campus, and it was Marty Brown. They hadn't had any other running backs on campus. Why? Well, some of it is because they like their running back room. The other part of it is people have to understand coaches that have worked as hard as Coach Barthel has to grow and groom these relationships has to give some pause and some thought and do his homework about anybody that they choose to bring into that room.
Especially into the circumstances. Think about the circumstances with EJ, right? This is a guy that put his name in the portal.
Or you're talking about EJ, the player.
Yes. Sorry,
yes.
Emmett Johnson.
Yes.
This is a guy that considered going into the portal, never officially went in, but announced he was going to. Obviously, they had a conversation that brought him back from doing that. Whatever the context of that conversation is, which I'm not privy to, but I can imagine talking about his role on the team next year and those types of things.
Do we have an 8 o'clock?
Yeah, we got Benny Mac.
Okay.
But talking about his role on the team and those kind of things, you probably don't want to feel like you're betraying the trust that he put in you to come back.
See if Benny can see if 8:03 is okay for B-Mac, Shane.
Okay.
And we won't take a break. We can go right to him.
Yeah.
Beauty of digital. So
the relationship with EJ to get him to trust you to stay at Nebraska is a big factor if you're going to go try and bring somebody else into the room
100%.
that is viewed as a starting caliber running back.
100%.
Right?
So you have to really do your background.
Like
you have to really do your background. You have to talk to all the places that Marty has been.
Yeah. And you have to talk. I mean, I'm guessing you have to talk to EJ a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Emma Johnson, again, not Barthel.
Yeah.
Like, you have to talk to him and be like, hey, what would you feel about, like.
How do you think I feel? Who are my two favorite running backs down there?
Emmett and Mackay.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Who am I the closest to? It's not even close.
I'm not sure.
Of the two.
I mean, you talk about Mackay the most.
Who am I the closest to?
Emmett.
Yeah. How do you think this isn't about me, so hear my heart.
Yeah.
But I do feel a certain way. This is the human component in me of showing up with a guy.
Yeah.
Walking in the building with a guy.
That wants his job.
And I'm for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I'm for you, Ravi. But I roll in with Schaefer, and I'm like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Look what's going on.
Yeah.
You're going to look at me sideways.
Yeah,
you
probably.
could.
Yeah.
So you have to do your homework.
And to be clear, there is a difference between, like, we talk about this culture of being able to root for one another and root for each other, even at your own expense. But part of building that culture is the coaching staff doing things that are trustworthy, right? Like, that culture can only stretch so far. If somebody says something to your face and then their actions say something else, like, you're going to have a really hard time trusting that culture, right? Yeah. So you have to be careful in a situation with Emmett Johnson and Marty Brown and bringing somebody else in when you feel like you've got a room you already like.
So, Game Dog, that is reckless at best. Like, not only is it a lie, it's flat out reckless, right? If Dana hadn't gotten here, EJ would be long gone. Like, that's like, you can't even with like, you just can't. Don't go there because it's not true. But anyway, so you have to do your homework. Mm-hmm. Then on the front end, you get him there. I know what the conversations are from 6:30 to 8. Mm-hmm. Hey, where are we at? I know what Marty told them and Marty's not wrong. Hey, the first time around, it went like this. I can't help it. My family kind of feels like this when it comes to Nebraska.
Different staff, but yes.
It's all real.
It is,
right?
No, it's 100% real.
Am I mad at Nebraska for not feeling like that's their mess to clean up?
No, I get it.
I get it too.
I don't want to clean up other people's messes.
Right?
Because I don't have kids.
All he's ever said is, hey, that's on them, or that was before them, or like, hey, we're all in this together. Can we just move this thing forward? I'm not interested in going back to get this. But I do have to entertain it because it's clearly a thing.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So then they have to decide if they want to get involved in that. Because it's just messy.
Yeah. And is it worth it?
And what did they find out? It's absolutely worth it.
Yeah. That's why they were involved.
So we're now going to the lengths that we are.
And they went to pretty decent lengths. Like, I felt, from what you've told me, I felt they were aggressive in going after Marty Brown.
Yeah.
That's where I was frustrated, there's this narrative out there that Nebraska.
But I get what sure. And I'm not mad at Tim, and I'm not mad at Shay. Like, I get where because it's partly true. They were clearly behind.
They were late. But that doesn't mean they weren't aggressive.
And I think doing their due diligence to make sure it fits in the long run. And I love Marty. But in the long run, I want Nebraska doing business like this. This is how I want them to.
100%.
This is how I want Nebraska to approach the portal.
Hey, this is the number. We like you. We want you to be here. We're going to do everything we can to show you what it's like here.
And the longer they were around him, the more they fell in love with him.
Yeah.
And that's the Marty. That's what happened.
And sort of vice versa as well, right? Like, the longer he was around them, the more he liked them.
Yeah. So then I watch him and EJ work. Him and Coach Barthel work.
Yeah.
Hey, with the sequential play calling, come over and be a part of this, and this is how we want you to run. And he's seeing guys kind of get better on the watch, and you can chop it up with Mackay and EJ, and you can sit and have lunch with EJ, and then Marty can say things to me like, "Man, this feels a lot like where I left in Fargo. Man, I'm rocking with this."
Yeah.
Or I can text Coach and say, "Hey, man, #GBR." Like, where does that come from?
It comes from he liked it there. He liked it at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska showed him love.
Lots of other outside influences other than Nebraska not doing their job. But I clearly understand.
Listen,
I clearly understand the image of Nebraska being late to the party.
And here's the thing. I'm never going to tell a kid or anybody else, hey, don't go get the money you can get. I'm never going to tell anybody that.
Yeah.
What I will tell people is, I've done that before too. It doesn't always go the way you want it to. Like, the bigger paycheck a lot of times doesn't go the way you want it to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you still shouldn't try and figure it out, right? But a lot of times the biggest dollar amount is not the best decision.
Yeah, and the thing that I loved about kind of where I think that culture is, because I think this is ultimately how they're going to win. Who had their two best practices that day?
Running backs?
What two in particular?
EJ and Mackay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came back talking about Mackay.
Who showed his rear end?
Nelson.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, just showed his, like, all of it in all its glory. Like, here I am.
It's like, hey, you can bring in somebody else in, but he's not playing over me.
And he didn't give it any thought.
Yeah.
Like, the dude, he was incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, that, you talk about tugging at my heartstrings. Like, that's the part where I'm like, and people probably weren't listening to the broadcast, but Emmett said, hey, Coach Rule uses your stuff all the time. He's talking about, like, with you and Lawrence and loving on one another and cheering for one another. EJ said that on the show, on the radio Saturday.
On Saturday, yeah.
And I'm not going to kid you, Ravi. I had to give it pause because I felt like that's how these guys are going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say it for skirt and pom-poms because it hurt my feelings at the time.
Yeah.
But when guys can respond like that and they have other guys breathing down their neck,
mm-hmm.
It's not just a football thing. That's how you got to compete at life.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, let's go. Like these guys got a chance. So am I disappointed that he's not there?
Sure.
I am. But I love how Nebraska did business. And I love that Marty got a chance to see that they're for real.
Mm-hmm.
And they are sincere. So I doubt there'll be a next time around. But hey,
who knows?
Who knows?
But also, if you do things, like if you don't compromise in terms of the way you go about your business, if you really are convicted by it, in the long term, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, 100%.
You're going to be just fine. Let's get to our guy, Ben McLaughlin, Husker Radio Network. Ben, appreciate you being a little flexible on the time with us here. What's up? How you doing, man?
You know, I have 2 kids under 5. Flexibility is my middle name.
and you
No
know,
problem.
you know, kind of like when it comes to like the passion and the culture and the love, man, sometimes you just got to give me a little wiggle room, man. So I appreciate you. How you been?
I've been good, brother. Busy, but it's a good busy before the absolute dead of summer. So I really embrace the spring for sure.
How looking forward to you or trepidation or I've seen this book. I'm like, where are you feeling with what kind of run you think Nebraska could potentially make? Is this, I've seen this before, hope you can replicate it. I'm seeing signs. Like, where are you emotionally with this team?
Well, today I feel that I have some optimism after the other night. Now ask me in 24 hours after the Minnesota game. that certainly could change. They've taken us for a ride in 25, haven't they?
Yep.
I mean, my goodness. So I'm doing the best I can, which, Damon, as you know, this isn't always easy for me, of taking the emotion out of it. I wouldn't say it's going particularly well, but it's we're doing the best that we can. And, you know, with just 3 regular season series left and a log jam in the Big Ten standings, some winnable series in front of them, we're just gonna enjoy the ride, good, bad, or indifferent.
Ben, you're obviously as close to this team as anybody we've talked to, and have seen this team up close and personal more than anybody we talked to. As you've sort of navigated, you know, all of a sudden we're at as you mentioned, just 3 series left in the season. As you've navigated the majority of this season, and you see the ups and the downs, and you're like, oh, they look really good here, and then they sort of fall apart there. Like, have you been able to put your finger on, like, what has, I don't want to say what's gone wrong, but sort of what's ailed Nebraska at times this year when things aren't going the way they want them to?
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit of a smorgasbord of things that's contributed to it. I don't feel like the arm injuries that Nebraska suffered early are getting enough attention. Losing McConaughey really hurt. Like, it's not just losing a guy that pitches for you, but between him and Timmerman, you're almost at, 130 innings that you had to cover up between those 2 guys alone for the time that they missed. So it's really, really difficult to kind of put that in perspective. And it was masked for a long time because Walsh was doing so well. But now that he's kind of struggled, that's back into the forefront of what's been going on. And so I think that's certainly contributed to it. But then also I think, the inconsistency offensively for the first 2 months of the year played a large part. Now it seems hard to believe that was the case because all those guys that were slumping are now hitting, including Gabe Swanson. So that's hard to figure. The bullpen has still been a little bit elusive at times with the crooked numbers. You saw that in the first game against Creighton. So I think there's just been a smattering of issues that have frustrated this staff. But, as we've seen, this team is more than capable of beating almost anybody in the country on a given night. So it's all about putting those pieces together for the stretch run here because, college baseball is weird in that if teams start to believe and start getting those big wins late, like you saw even with just the Florida team that beat Nebraska last year in the regional, good things are going to start happening.
B-Mac, let me ask you something. How much do you think this team just kind of needs a rhythm? And this is on the heels. J.J. Redick got a question last night about like continuity and chemistry. And he said, our playoff rotation only had 13 games. Clearly, Luka and LeBron had played longer together. But our rotation, they only played 13 games together. And I thought about that for a second. And I'm like, as it relates to Nebraska baseball, when you talk about Timmerman and kind of the roles, because early on I felt like Fridays were kind of set, right? You wanted to bring in Christo with the rotation. He's going to pitch behind Walsh. They kind of had a Friday rhythm. You felt like you maybe had a second starter coming, and then Sundays were always going to be a little bit of a crapshoot. Now that guys are getting relatively healthy, is it enough time for this team to kind of establish a rhythm if that's how they're going to play? The lineup is starting to come around on the day-to-day of how he's going to set it. Is there enough time, do you think, for the pitching staff to kind of get their roles in a rhythm?
Yeah, I think so. And better late than never, right? I mean, you've got 3 weekends left. And not only that, but you've had now back-to-back outings on both Saturday and Sunday with Horn and Brockett that have gone at least 5. And that's been a real challenge for Nebraska on Saturdays and Sundays, which is also, Damon, as you know, waiting to the decisions on Fridays.
Yep.
Right? Knowing what you have in front of you the rest of the weekend. And you really had one silver bullet in the chamber in Christo. And, God forbid he have an off night, because that was really Nebraska's only ace in the hole when it came time to bridging innings to Broderick. Well, now that you have Tuck back, that completely changes the way Nebraska can go about their business. And you saw that play out against Maryland when Nebraska had to come out and throw Timmerman 80-plus pitches on Friday.
And then come back in a midweek, Yeah,
and then he came back in the midweek, and you had arrested Drew Christo for Saturday and Sunday, and Broderick didn't even pitch. So I think you're starting to see that depth creep in with those roles that you're talking about. And then the other thing, when you talk about the word rhythm and the question, it's hard to not be in a rhythm when you're finally at home for 2 straight weekends. Like that, I think, is really, really a big part to this, because you've got a Minnesota team that's ripe here this weekend, and then you've got maybe the toughest team left on your schedule in Michigan, but they're at home. And so for these guys to be able to be at home at Hawks Field, I mean, I think they had 15 home games entering mid-April. Like, that's never happened. They've played so much on the road this year, highlighted by that trip in Cali, that it's just nice to be here at home, sleeping in your own bed, being in your own clubhouse, things like that have certainly helped Nebraska on the field as well.
Ben, as we kind of look at things starting to come together for this Nebraska team, like how do you think that plays out if things go the way they want it to, in terms of how they set up for potential postseason? Obviously, the first goal is just to make sure they make the Big Ten tournament. But let's say they accomplish that over these next couple of weeks. How do they set up in your mind in being able to be successful in postseason play?
Yeah, I mean, that's the entire thing is once you get to Omaha in the Big Ten tournament, anything can happen. I mean, just ask Penn State last year. The 7th seed goes on a run all the way to the championship. So that's the goal. I think matchups are everything, and who you line up with in Omaha is everything. Like, if you line up with Iowa game 1 and you're dealing with Overmuller, that's a problem. But if you catch Iowa on any other day, I think you got a really good shot to win. So the goal, as you said, Ravi, first and foremost, is get there.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just say you need to find a way to get there, and then with the way you're playing and where the chips are falling, you just kind of let it happen from there.
So what's your we're not doing the whole coach speak thing, B-Mac. It's me and you. How much of this could you foresee coming down to that team that's currently sitting at 11-10? They're nestled up there behind Illinois on that last weekend with Michigan looming. I know we don't want to fast forward, but when you're looking at kind of trying to get a feel for this team, How much of that do you think will come into play if you had to talk about it right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard because you have this preconceived notion of what this team's going to look like coming into the year.
And we can't even get there, yeah.
Yeah, and for the first month and a half, 2 months, that team was completely gone. And then you take McConaughey off the table and Timmerman off the table, and it's like, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I mean, Damon, before the series last week, Nick and Jared Meister, the sports information director, and myself are talking. They're like, what do you guys think? And I literally looked them in the eyes and said, I have no feel.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to predict because that's the way this team's been all year. That being said, you know, a 3-game win streak and the middle game being a 21-5 win and the way they won on Tuesday, I think we're all feeling pretty good. And then knowing you're at home again here this weekend, and you know Walsh is due for a good outing. It's been a couple clunkers in a row for him, and he's just too good for that. So I feel like to put it in fruition and to see it happening, like I feel like the fruit's pretty low to reach out there and grab. The team just needs to go do it.
So would we rather be playing – this is a weird question, but I'm going to get to the real one. Clearly, Minnesota has struggled at home in Big Ten Conference play with just the one win. They come to Lincoln. How dialed do you think Nebraska is into just controlling what they can control, as this is obviously the most important series of the year because it's the next one?
Yeah, that's what Will Bolt has been. I mean, I think he is so ready to be done talking to me pregame and postgame for the year. Because when he talks to me, he has this look in his eye like, you can ask this question however many ways you want to. I'm going to give you the same answer. And so pretty much every pregame and postgame show kind of seems like the conclusion's already handed to me, and I already know what's going to be said. And I think that same way is with the team. It's like the goal is the same every time you lace up the spikes. You need to go be the tougher team today, and that team's going to win more times than not. And that's been the message sent down from Coach Bolt. And I think that's part of the reason why some of these games have frustrated him so much, because Nebraska has let that slip away in the late innings or not come out ready to play in the early innings and let games slip away that way. And by that time, it's too little too late. So I think for me, the message has been the same and will always be the same with this team. But you guys got to go take care of your business because you haven't earned the right to overlook anybody.
So, Ben, you mentioned a couple guys, Gabe Swanson obviously starting to come around a little bit. You mentioned you think Will Walsh is a little due to come and have a good outing. If you're looking at this team and what you know guys are capable of versus maybe what we've seen for most of this year, have you kind of narrowed it down to a couple wild card guys that you go, hey, if we can get these guys going, I like our chances?
Yeah, I think one of them is already kind of going, but you need to keep him going, and that's Ravi Boland.
I agree, especially if he's going to stay at the top.
Exactly. So I remember being on your show before the year, and Damon kind of asked me about the lineup, and I kind of hinted at somebody dethroning someone that was in the lineup every day last year, Riley Silva. And Ravi was the guy I was speaking of. And you look at him, and you're not real intimidated. He's got those blonde surfer curly hair, and he's kind of just a scrawny little dude, but he is a spark plug. Like, his energy, the team just feeds off of it. And that doesn't mean he's going to come in and have 3 hits, but it might mean what it mean on Tuesday. You drop down a bunt, they overthrow the throw to first, and now you're at second, and you've got life in the inning. Like, you robbed the home run against Maryland, and now all the energy is in your dugout. Like, he does these little things within the game that kind of give Nebraska juice, and he is going right now, but you hope it's not like a Devin Nunez situation where now they have a scout on him and he really starts to struggle. But I would highlight Ravi Boland, and the other is just the catcher position between Jeske and Halixo.
Yep.
Like, those guys have kind of taken turns struggling both on the defensive side, but also on the offensive side. But you're really starting to see Hogan put some better at bats together. We already know Overbeek's a problem, in the bottom third of the order.
Well, he's on a tear.
Yeah, he's on a heater right now, batting over 400 in his last 10 games. But, if you can get some production out of your catching spot and feel good about where you're at defensively there, Nebraska's lineup all of a sudden becomes very deep and really hard to pitch to consistently. So I feel really good if those two pieces are going, and I guess coincidentally enough, one's usually in the 9 spot, one's in the leadoff spot. If those guys can keep going, Nebraska's going to have a lot of success.
What would you do with Stone? Like, what role would you how do you like to see him utilized?
Well, he was on his own heater there for about a month, and he was just 2 out of 11 in the series against Maryland. But I think you just roll with where you like him matchup-wise. And the beauty with Stone is you've got a really capable, another guy that you can plug in there with matchups with Case Sanderson, who is a capable left-handed pitching hitter and is still really good defensively. But I think for a while you just keep riding it out and see if he can weather the storm. You did see this, unfortunately, from Stoney last year, start to tail off at the end of last season. Now, keep in mind, he's still dealing with a shoulder that's been messed up all year. So I think the wear and tear is starting to play an impact on him. But the good news is with Sanderson and Stone, you can basically pencil those guys in for one another. Stoney obviously is a lot better slugger with extra base hits, but Case Sanderson is more than capable at first base as well.
What would you do with Dice?
I think you just got to ride it out.
Yeah.
We said this on the broadcast on Tuesday, that we haven't seen that Casey Dice, and I say that Casey Dice, he faced 3 batters and let up 3 hits since last year. I mean, he has been so consistent for Nebraska, just become, not even a secret weapon. He's just a weapon for them now. An ERA now just north of 4. He has been a really, really crucial piece to what Nebraska's doing. And I think it's starting to kind of fit what Rob Childress thought it would be at the beginning of the year, with guys like Grant Clevenger now coming in and being able to take care of at least one left-handed pitcher in his outings. He has been, I think, 3 for 3 or 4 for his last 4, and coming in and doing his job when he's been called out of the bullpen. So I wouldn't be too reactive with Dice. I think his body of work this year has given him a little leash, but you never like to see a guy who's pitching to a sub-2 ERA find 3 barrels like that in a row, albeit a very good hitting Kansas State team.
So, Ben, every college baseball team I've ever seen make an improbable run through May and maybe even into June has had some pitcher give you more innings in higher leverage situations than you ever really would have expected from them to be able to perform. Is that guy Dice for you, or is there somebody else, if Nebraska kind of goes on this run, that you think could fill that type of role?
I think I'm probably more of a Broderick lean, and that's going to sound like such an obvious answer being your closer. But I don't mean Broderick just coming in for the 9th and closing the game. Where Broderick is valuable is he can get you 50 pitches. So when you have a guy, it reminds me a little bit of that Michigan team that went on the run to the national championship. I believe it was 2019, if I'm getting the year right, when they had that Criswell in the bullpen who could come in and just throw 60, 70 pitches. And he was a starter for a lot of that year. But what made Michigan so lethal that year was, you'd get a guy that got you 5 or 6 innings, and then you felt really good about closing that one down. And I feel the same way with Broderick. He could come in the 7th inning if he hasn't thrown and close a game out for you. And he's going to have to do that. If Nebraska's going to get to their goals and go on a run in Omaha, your dudes have to be dudes. And Broderick would have to be not even a dude, but a hero for this team if they're going to do that, because you just need somebody in that back end. And his stuff is plenty good enough. We talk all the time about his slider and the 3 different variations that he throws it. Let's not forget about the 94 to 96 mile an hour heater that he's got too. So, I think Broderick and his body of work this year and what he's capable of doing, he'll have to be that anchor for Nebraska if they're going to reach their goals.
Yeah, you know who I thought you might say if he was healthy? I thought that's kind of how I envisioned Worthley.
Yeah, he's been maybe the microcosm of the season. Just kind of hard to figure. There's been moments with J-Dub where he's come in and looked really good, like that K-State game in Manhattan just over a month ago. We thought, okay, this is vintage Worsley. The changeup's working. He's getting swing and miss on the fastball. He's kind of back. But he's battled some injuries and some different injuries, and nothing overly serious, but things that are just bothering him enough to where, Nebraska couldn't travel him last weekend to Maryland because he's been dealing with it. And I think this is by far the most adversity that he has faced in college. And so I think he's still navigating that part of it too. But don't get me wrong, there's still an air of confidence about me when 42 has the ball in his hand. And I'm with you, Damon. If he's been rearing to go and healthy, you saw him last year in the regional in Stillwater save the game against Niagara. So I think he's kind of got that under his belt too, and it would be great to get him healthy for the stretch run also.
B-Mac, let me get you out on this just because he had time off because of the facial fractures and, not a ton of wear and tear, but it has been ramped up quickly in the last, 10 days. Do you feel comfortable with Tucker kind of being stretched out enough in his role that could be pretty pivotal down these last three series?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, just because he's fresh.
Tucker's. Let's put this in a football analogy. Tucker's the dude that would have 46 carries in a game and be like bruised and battered in the huddle, and he's looking at the coach going, "Why are you throwing the ball? Give me the ball."
Gotcha.
Like that's Tucker Timmerman. And to Damon, to your point, it's not inconceivable for me to see a scenario in Omaha in the Big Ten tournament where he's starting a crucial game for you and getting your 5-6 innings. Like I don't think that's completely off the table. I asked Coach Childress and Coach Bolt after the game on Friday with Maryland, 80 pitches, was that intentional? And they both looked at me and said, no, we couldn't get the ball out of his hand. And Coach Childress kind of wore it a little bit saying, I shouldn't have let him talk me into it. We let him go too long, just, post comeback from that facial fracture. But that's the guy you want out there. You want the crowbar on the mound visit to get the ball out of a guy's hand, as opposed to looking at somebody that maybe doesn't want to be there.
That's Ben McLaughlin, Husker Radio Network play-by-play voice for Nebraska baseball. Ben, we appreciate it. As always, great stuff.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, B.
That's Benny Mack, one of our faves.
He's so good.
Good stuff. I'm interested.
I just miss his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my dude.
You guys haven't got to hang out much lately.
I know, man. It's but he's busy.
Yeah. Well, he's got a baseball team to follow around.
He probably would have lost his mind on Saturday, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it was controlled chaos. It's utter chaos.
He seems like a guy that wants things to stay pretty buttoned up.
Well, he's just so meticulous.
Like organized.
Yeah, man. That's a good word for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're talking about him having all the cords and everything.
You got to see the bags.
Yeah, you got to take a picture next time.
I will. I got you.
That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. Hurrdat Sports Live. Coming up next.
Yeah, there's so many of them, and I would say, buying them and building them, just this, I've been saying that because of the day, the day we live in right now, the NIL, and obviously we give our guys NIL, the guys that earn it. And so it's more about earning something. And in life, you got to earn. If you want to be, worth $50 million, you want to be worth, you want to run a big corporation, you got to pay the price. You got to earn that. No one's going to hand that to you. And I think our sport in particular teaches those lessons. All our sports do. And that's why sports are important. Obviously, wrestling's not a money-making sport that football is or basketball is. There's only two revenue sports, really, football and men's basketball. And so
Oklahoma State softball story is a story of growth and success. After getting to visit the team this fall and watching practice and talking with Coach G, I am confident in this team this year.
The best you is really dang good. I mean, it's really good. Okay? So just be that. No more, no less.
Lightning in my fingers, and I'm nice on my feet. Heavyweight big swinger, got you saying double while they're counting to three.
Mizuno and Oklahoma State softball are built for big moments.
Brace yourself.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Don't forget to come down and check out Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We did a little wing eating contest. Not contest, taste test.
Yeah.
Taste test. I got the wrong test. Taste.
We only ate 3. Well, most of us normal people only ate 3 wings.
I think I had like 6.
Yeah.
I had to eat your barbecue ones.
That was really and I didn't understand why when Sasha first proposition isn't the word, but like yeah, kind of when she first kind of solicited the idea, I was like, oh sure.
Mm-hmm.
And she was kind of like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. Like I told you over the last, I'm going to try to say yes to whatever.
Yeah.
But I understand why she said that.
Yeah. See, sometimes things feel a little out of your wheelhouse.
That's definitely out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah. I appreciate you stretching your horizons,
Yeah. And it's not for any other reason than I'm not a sauce guy, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, we're going to video this thing, me eating wings.
Yeah.
And people are going to be like, this is really how you eat wings? Yes, this is really how I eat wings.
I will say, in general, it is awkward to have somebody filming you while you eat, regardless of how you eat.
No, I'm with you.
Like, that's weird.
I'm with you.
So I was uncomfortable too, if that makes you feel any better.
I do like what I like, and I like talking about
the things you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So if everybody else and their kid wasn't doing it, I would do like
food show.
I would do like food. Hey, I ate at such and such.
Yeah. I have thought about doing like food reviews of just because, we go out to different places, try different stuff. And I just like, people feel like people should know. Sometimes
my buddy John asked me about a bunch of different restaurants last night.
I've asked you before.
Yeah.
I've texted you, be like, hey, I'm looking for this. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah. And because I do try to.
You try a lot of places.
I do.
Yeah.
And I don't always get the same things.
And I'm not great at that.
Creature of habit?
Yeah. If I find, because I get mad. If I have an option on the table that I know I'm going to like, and then I go somewhere new and I don't like it,
okay,
I get
Tyler Mosman.
I get kind of mad.
Filet, Oscar style, every time. Tyler, get something different. Why? I know what I like. Just try something. I don't want to be disappointed. Okay, bud. Filet, Oscar style.
So that's the thing is like I'm not afraid to try new things. I'm just going to be mad if I don't like the new thing. Because I know
why are you only drinking Diet Sunkist orange? Because I like it. Have you tried? No, I know I like this. Okay, bud. It's fine. You could be missing out. You never know.
Rico's a weirdo. He says it's not that weird. If you want to video me eat, I'm good. Video me eating, I'm good.
Now that dude is flat out silly though.
He is. I love Rico.
Like he is
goofball.
That dude I'd probably have a good time at a funeral. It's like what a wackadoodle.
He is.
The faking of the heat almost had me. I'm like, they are hot.
On the last
one,
one,
not that hot.
On the last one, you thought he was.
Yeah, because he's like, ooh.
He's a pretty good actor.
He's like, oh, is that water?
Can I get some water?
No, that's not. It's only going to intensify.
Just, ooh.
No, it's silly.
That'll be out on Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill socials.
Why did we do that?
To promote the 75-cent wings on the weekends.
Oh.
So that'll be out on Hurrdat Sports Bar socials here in the next few days.
Do you know what I did learn, though?
What's that?
And I should have known this because it makes complete sense.
Sure.
Depending on what sauce you get on the wings, totally dictates the texture of the skin.
Yeah.
So if I was gonna be a BBQ sauce guy, I'm definitely gonna be like, man, fry those joints hard.
Well, or you want it on the side so you can get the crispy
and
skin.
I'm always gonna be a wing on the side guy.
Or sauce on the side.
Sauce on the side. Except for the sauced in charred.
Yeah.
I'll do.
So they sauce it and then they char it after the sauce, so you still get the crispiness.
So it's in and it's not messy.
Yeah.
Because
I get that for sure.
I don't like I was gonna say wrinkly skin. I like crispy skin.
Yeah. No, I get you for sure.
I'm not a soggy skin guy.
I agree 100%. Having that like nice crisp on the
And I thought that was the difference between. That's what made the garlic parm wings
the best one.
The best wings.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I didn't vote for them as the best.
Yeah. Well, you like the fiery a little bit.
I don't want to be eating that garlic.
See, I do. I love garlic parmesan wings.
Yeah.
Those are my faves.
Maybe that's what's wrong with your hygiene.
Probably. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things going on.
Oh, maybe out here, right?
This is where the magic happens.
We're out here. I tell you though, pheromones are a real thing. So depending on what your intake is,
sure,
it comes out differently. Some people can just smell like alcohol, and you're like, "What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
is that in your pores?"
Yeah,
and they'll be like, "Yeah, it actually is."
Like, no, yeah.
And then other people, like, you'd never know.
It's true. Yeah, they drink all the time, and you don't smell it. They're on them or anything like that.
Yeah, like how do I smell? I'm just kidding.
No, so you know what? Okay, this is gonna be weird. It's fine.
I love those. This is gonna be weird, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
So,
I'm the king of that.
So my wife has she's very proud of her hygiene. She goes a long way.
That's why she and I get along.
Goes a long way to make sure not only that she doesn't smell, but that she smells good.
Right.
Right. And she says the biggest compliment is when a black lady tells her that she smells good, or a black person tells her that she smells good.
Here we go.
And she's like, for whatever reason, she's like, black people's hygiene is way better than white people's hygiene. She's white. I didn't say this. She did. And she's like, and they always smell so good. And so when you get a compliment from a black person about how you smell, it's like the ultimate compliment. And I was like, I have to be honest. This is like DB does smell good, like almost all the time. I was like, it's going to sound weird, but like DB always smells good.
You know what's funny? So when I was a kid growing up, that was kind of the ongoing joke.
They just always smell good.
There's just it's a difference.
Yeah,
it's just a difference, and I don't know if it was because I don't know, like it's just like this running joke about wet dogs,
about how white people smell like wet dogs.
Yeah,
so that's how Natasha found out.
But if like brothers, it would be like they'd just be like, "Oh man, you're musty," and I'm like, "Well, what is that?" And we would like do these comps in school. We'd be talking about each other in high school. Like, "Oh man, that's what you smell like," and it was just different.
Yeah. So apparently, one of Natasha's really good friends when she was working at the restaurant.
Is she black?
Was this black lady?
Coincidentally,
and it just so happens. And so she overheard somebody else saying like, "Oh yeah, white people smell like wet dogs." And so she ran to her friend and goes, "I don't smell like wet dog, do you? Do I?" And she's like, "No, you smell good. You actually know how to do your hygiene and smell good and everything." Yeah. So she's very proud of that.
Well, good.
Ken agrees with me. He says getting a compliment from a black woman makes your day. It's true.
KP's wild, isn't he?
No, it's KE.
Oh, because I was about to say he always throws. KP will throw you for some curveballs. Sometimes it's like, wait a minute.
But I will say, there's if I'm wearing a suit or something, especially when I was coaching.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, a black lady would be like, "Oh man, you are wearing that suit," and I was like, "Hell yeah,
let's go." Unlike Lucas shorts,
he is wearing those shorts.
I don't know why I'm hung up on that.
It does bother you an inordinate amount.
I need to grow up. Because if you don't like the way that people talk about your frame and your fitness, tighten it up.
Yeah, I would like to see him in better shape. I'm not going to lie.
Gosh.
That's part of my deal with Jokic, too.
Don't get started on him. They got a big one.
He's just squishy.
Who are you rolling with in that series?
I see.
I don't
know. He doesn't really.
This is difficult for me because I wanted the Clippers to win, but the idea that James Harden continues to suck in the playoffs makes me very happy.
Yeah.
So I'm a little torn here. I'm like Natalie Imbruglia. Torn.
Feeling like a fool?
No, just torn.
Yeah. I prefer Natalie over the torn between two lovers people. Because I can't. It's not crystal. He always tells me, and I forget. I didn't commit it to memory.
That's all right.
It's old. It's some 70s lady crooner.
Peter Yarrow?
No.
And Philip, Peter, Paul, and Mary?
There it is.
Yeah.
That's Peter Paul. Really?
No, torn between two. That's not who I'm thinking.
Oh,
of.
Mary McGregor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yes, I knew it was one of those earthy tree people.
That's Mary McGregor of Peter, Paul, and Mary. That's the Mary.
Oh, well, Shane, the more you know.
That is the aforementioned Mary.
Hey.
As is Peter Yarrow is of Peter, Paul, and Mary.
I stand corrected.
There we go. See?
I can eat it.
No, I get it, though. Like, you hear a name, and then you're like, nope, that's not what I was thinking.
Because there's not really any dudes that I remember when I sing that song.
Like Mary McGregor.
I just hear the lady. So I don't, when you said a guy, I was like, there's no guy in that song.
Also, when you hear,
there?
I don't know, at least for me, when I hear Peter, Paul, and Mary, I think of a band. I don't really think of the individuals.
And they don't, they may be the same individuals, but it doesn't, both those groups don't sound the same. I mean, music-wise, it doesn't.
Yeah, like Darius Rucker doesn't sound like Hootie and the Blowfish. You know what I mean?
And I hesitate to say this because you're going to take a look at her look and you're going to be like, that makes sense. But I did in my younger years.
For Mary McGregor?
Yeah, but no, a thing for Natalie Imbruglia.
Oh, Natalie Imbruglia. Okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's on brand.
Okay, let's relax with that.
She's a good-looking lady. That's all I meant. Good looking.
He said that's on brand. I was young.
That you younger. No, yeah, that checks out. What you like nice looking ladies? That's fine.
I'm not messing with you because you're gonna get T-Mac fired up. You'll start Googling. He's notorious.
Like B.I.G.
Man.
Coming up next, speaking of B, we're going to talk to our guy, Brian Edwards, Vegas Insider, here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
We will be back. We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Now, Vegas Insider, senior handicapper, and fan of the cold Budweiser bottles, Brian Edwards.
It's got to be touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Brian Edwards.
I don't really love it.
Brian Edwards.
The way they're using the cream cheese to butter the bagel.
Brian Edwards.
I'm going with the cowgirl.
Here is Brian Edwards.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We're joined now by Brian Edwards, our Vegas Insider. What's up, B?
Uh-oh.
We're on mute.
Team mute.
We had a couple good weeks in a row.
Wait, he has some new headphones too. Oh, there you are.
No, same headphones.
What? I'm noticing a little red trim. Did you change out the muffs or what?
No, that's always been there.
Well, I know I can't see. Maybe I'm colorblind.
He
too.
needs the glasses, B.
Hey, are you a Derby guy, Brian?
I'm not. Is the Derby this weekend?
Clearly, you were not.
So no.
No. Not on bet on horses.
Yeah, it's just more or less controllable than people.
Less controllable, I think. But
Oh no! Have you seen the NBA?
Right? That's a good point. Good point. Good point. Have you been needling Damon about the Lakers this morning?
No, yeah. I mean, I sounded off early, but not to pick the low-hanging fruit. They lost exactly how and why I said they would when I looked at their roster.
Interior defense.
Can't defend. They're too small. Luka gets gone by. And then so the thing that was upsetting the most was this morning it was, well, where do the Lakers go from here? And would Anthony Davis and Luka been a better pair? I'm like, you guys are idiots.
Right. Yeah. They definitely have to get an interior defender though.
Yeah. Well, they got to own also declining the trade. They had their guy.
Yeah, they fixed it, and then they're like, "Now we're cool."
Now, this mysterious reason he didn't pass his physical. Meanwhile, they're like, "No, he's good. I don't know what you guys are doing. Like, he's passed our physical."
Yep. Yep.
Return to sender equals booking your tee times the first week in May.
Cancun on 3.
That's right. I was on the tip of my tongue. Did Barkley say that last night?
Man, he was so giddy because they were like doing this whole list of Hall of Famers that LeBron has played with to have been bounced so early in playoff series.
Oh, I like that.
Wow. Even I don't pile on like that, and I don't like LeBron.
I don't like LeBron either. Well, I just don't like how he anoints himself the GOAT. I mean, he's had too many postseason failures, in my opinion. I mean, he's top 3, 4.
Ahead or behind Kobe?
Oh, that's a good question.
Kobe doesn't get enough run.
That's a good question. I'm going to have to think on that one for a minute.
Here's the real question, guys, because I've got a lot of evidence here at this point. I know people are all going to say he's ahead of Steph. I'm just saying he's 1-3 against Steph in NBA Finals. Not great on the resume. And you talked about all the Hall of Famers that LeBron James has played with. Steph has played with one top 75 player ever. Kevin Durant. That is the only top 75 player that Steph Curry has ever played with, and he has just as many rings as LeBron and is 3-1 straight up against him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and that's only 2 seasons of playing with Durant, right?
Played 3.
2.5 or
but
3? Okay.
He was injured. Durant was injured in the finals in 2019. But Steph has just as many titles without Durant as he does with Durant. And I don't know if you know this, Durant doesn't have any without Steph. I'm just putting that out there.
I like all of that, Ravi. I like all that right there. And Steph has got to be top 5. Or I think he's gotten there here recently. Maybe
he's in my top 5. I'm generally a little more aggressive on where I put Steph than other people are, but he's the top 5 player of all time.
I am genuinely bothered that people just fast forward LeBron past Kobe. I think it's laughable.
I like where both of you are going. I like all this. I like it all.
How have the NBA playoffs been treating you so far, B?
Not great. Not great. I've had some heartbreakers with the Pistons. I've been on the Pistons every game in the series.
And so that in my opinion is the hardest team.
Yeah.
People will make fun of the Knicks,
right?
But the Knicks are kind of who they are, right? They struggled against the top teams in the league, this, that, and the other. The Pistons are the hardest team to cap, in my opinion, because 1 minute Cunningham looks like the best player on the floor. The next, it's like they can't throw it in the ocean, right? That's a hard team to cap.
Yeah. Well, Cunningham gets them good shots, though. But I mean, that's one thing you can count on. Now, are they going to make the shots? We'll see. I say they're going to make them tonight. I like them tonight. I'm going to do minus 120 money line instead of minus 1.5. I would even go to minus 125. If it's minus 130, maybe go ahead and lay the 1.5 or buy it to 1 and do minus 120 on minus 1. Obviously, they lost both at home, but by 3 combined points. I thought they should have got that whistle on Sunday at the end.
Well, so did the NBA, right? They came out and said they got it wrong.
Yep. I mean, I I said that because I have money on them, obviously.
Truth be told,
right? Truth be told, if we're being honest here. But yeah, I mean, not a whole lot of analysis here other than just I think that Cade Cunningham will get them good shots. I think they'll make them at home tonight. And I think we're going the distance in this one, as we should. We've had 5 close games. I mean, I know the Knicks covered in game 1, but that was that 21-0 run when they were trailing by 8 in the fourth quarter. I gotta go with the Pistons here, and I think we'll get a great game 7. This series has been the best series by far to me, in my opinion. What about y'all?
Clippers Denver's been pretty good.
I still don't know how the Clippers Nuggets have been getting to like double-digit end scores, because I feel like the games are better than what the actual scores say.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. And I was thinking Clippers in a money line parlay, but I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to go Nuggets. I haven't bet it yet. I'm going to see if we can get a 7 this afternoon. I don't know that we will. Oh wait, hold on. Where am I live?
I've got it at 6.5 right now.
Okay. Where'd my live lines go? Yeah, I don't see any 7s right now, but if it gets to 7, I'll take it, or I may buy it at some point. But I like the Pistons better. I feel like I don't feel like the Clippers are gonna maul Denver, and if Denver plays well and gets another great performance out of Murray, they can obviously win this one. I think the Clippers probably win, but I just don't see them running away from Denver tonight. So smaller opinion on Denver, but I'm pretty strong on Pistons.
Let me ask you something, B, just because of all the time that we've known one another, and it kind of out on baseball, hockey has never really been the thing. Long term, is it just better value for you ATS and spreads than it is money lines with all the big plus minus? Because you do cap UFC, which is similar, right, in terms of baseball and like, let's say, hockey, but two things you just have never really gravitated towards.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do some money lines, but I like, in other words, if I I'm not against a little Denver money line. Let me see what that price is right now tonight. Let's see. Sorry. Plus 225. I will do money lines, but when I do them, it's always going to be underdogs, unless it's like a minus 120 or minus 125 on the Pistons night. Like I don't like to do a minus 140 or more expensive favorite wise, but on the underdogs, I'll do a money line. Like I did the Pistons money line the other night, but I always will have more on them plus the points, and it's just kind of a little small play on the money line for a little extra. I always want to make sure. Like, for instance, if I did Denver tonight money line, I would have like 3 times more. Like I would have like 100 on Denver plus 6.5 and maybe like 30 on the money line. So I'm still going to have a nice profit if they don't win outright, but do cover.
Have you looked ahead at all to Pacers Cleveland yet as that series gets underway?
Yeah, I was looking at the head-to-head results from the regular season. Now, some of the Cleveland guys, or actually, I think both teams rested some of the guys in the last meeting, which Indiana won in overtime. But Indiana did win 3 of 4, so I think 2 of 3 when they were mostly full strength. And the totals were a wash, but one of the games would have gone under if not for overtime. So really, in regulation, the unders went 3-1. So I like the Pacers plus 8 in game 1. I know the Cleveland looked fantastic in the first series, most lopsided 4-game sweep in NBA history. I think it was plus 122, and I think the previous one was plus 95, so with 27 points to spare. But, the Heat just weren't very good this year. So I don't know that I'm, I'm not all in on Cleveland right now. And I just think that that's a big number. And both teams have plenty of rest. And I like the Pacers +8 in that one. And when do we get that one? Do we get that one on Sunday?
Yeah. We start
Okay. Okay. I thought I saw Tuesday yesterday, but maybe I did not see that. Anyway, no, it says Sunday right now.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it. But I think this live odds thing said Tuesday yesterday, but no matter. Does not matter. I like Indiana +8 on Sunday.
Here's the thing, because Indiana is a little bit of a headache considering, and I get it, Halliburton is their best player, and he kind of gets the but treatment. It's like, yeah, but like somebody kind of has this thing about Halliburton. Any problems backing the Pacers when he can be such a variable sometimes?
Just see how he was the most overrated player
Yeah.
That was wild. That was wild.
So, probably about how long ago was that you and I got into the Halliburton discussion?
I like Halliburton.
I like him too.
It was a pretty intense one. This was even probably a year ago.
Yeah, it's probably about last year.
So he does come with some. It seems
a weird
like
amount of strong
caveats.
opinions. About
caveats.
Him. Yeah.
I know this isn't that important of a thing, but don't y'all think TJ McConnell is just so solid as the best backup point guard in the league?
Yeah, and you know what I like point guards that he doesn't have to be the guy, but he can actually score.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he makes you have to play him different.
He is so good.
It's just different when your point guard can get buckets like that and still give up the rock.
Yeah, I just love him, and he always plays good in the playoffs, and he was so good the other night. Would you guys thought any less if Giannis just absolutely open hand bitch slapped Papa Halliburton the other night? I would not have thought any less of him.
What do you think the NBA is waiting on? Just the fact that
are they going to punish Giannis?
No,
you got to punish Halliburton's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
No, I would have thought.
Yeah, I'm no Shaq. Like I'm not. I still can't believe he doubled down to defend, to be mad at Giannis over that.
Yeah.
What the hell was he? Oh, I didn't hear Shaq say that. What the hell?
Oh, they got into it right after the game in studio, where Shaq was mad at Giannis.
Yeah.
And then so Barkley was with Dan Patrick yesterday.
Yeah, I think so.
And had a night to sleep on it, and he goes, "Yeah, I don't know. That might have been the stupidest thing Shaq's ever said." Like he doubled down on the fact that Shaq was being a moron, but.
I love Barkley.
Shaq was kind of riding with the fact that it happens. It's what fans do. Such and such a team got the brooms out against us when we got swept. And Barkley was like, "You're nuts."
Yeah. Hey, somebody getting brooms out is dramatically different than some dude getting in your face and trying to start something. Like I would have honestly been thrilled if he just got thrown around by Giannis. I respect so much that he didn't, and that's part of what I like about Giannis is that he just is kind of I like his perspective on things a lot. But man, if he had just cold cocked Halliburton's dad, I'm all for it because he earned every bit of it.
Absolutely. I mean, what the hell was that guy thinking, man? That was just terrible. I mean, any season-ending loss is excruciating, but the way that they lost it, and then to have that a-hole up in your face right 1 second after it happened, that was wild.
Also, to Giannis of all people, it's not like Giannis goes out and talks trash to people. Not that it would be okay, but if somebody got mad at Anthony Edwards after they beat him because Anthony Edwards is super out there, I would kind of understand the animosity. I don't even know how you're mad at Giannis.
Yes, I agree.
Such a weird thing. B, we appreciate it as always. Enjoy the playoffs this weekend. And yes, the Kentucky Derby is going on, just in case you want to throw a couple dollars at a name you like.
Fun hang, fellas. Y'all have a great weekend.
We'll talk to you later. That's Brian Edwards, Major Wager, and our Vegas Insider. Coming up next, we are going to talk a little horse racing with the one, the only, the big A, Anthony Stabile, coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Give me that cheddar, we getting Rico. Big money rolls like burritos. Give me that hot sauce, no pico. Give me that.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Moving up on the outside of Trent Fenton, and there on the far outside. Here comes the run from Stronghold and Resilience. And Resilience has now moved up to take the lead. And this is given way from the 5 or 16 goal. And Mystic Dan is now up through on the inside. It is Mystic Dan down toward the inside with the lead in the final 16. Forever Young, Sierra Leone is coming. These three coming down to the wire. Who's it going to be?
Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. We are joined now by the one and only, the infamous, or maybe just famous, Big A, Anthony Stabile. What's going on, buddy?
It's both. Listen, what's going on over there? I thought you guys were an ex-girlfriend or something. Apparently the numbers blocked. I couldn't get through. I had to call you.
You don't have any idea how funny that is. And I'm the reoccurring theme, but I had a buddy that called into the show the other day who used to be a longtime caller, and his walk-off, Big A, was, "Stop treating me like an ex. It's okay if you call me." It must be a me thing.
I was like, I don't think I owed him any money, and I don't think I dated anybody over there. I don't know why they're blocked.
You're not sure? I mean, is the prowess that good, Big A? You're not sure if you dabbled in the Midwest?
96, well, buddy, I showed you guys 96 Bulls. I'm working on re-signing Jordan right now. Me and Jordan were in negotiations for a while, but then she disappeared again.
Hey, listen.
She went off to go play baseball, or
yeah,
what?
She tried another sport?
Yeah, she's a good athlete. She actually. No, listen. If she didn't bust her knee up, she would have done something in sports. I was going to say she was going to have done something athletic, but she does that already. She would have done something in sports.
Here's the question, though. Does Mom like her?
It's the only one Mom ever liked. Mom liked two. Well, I shouldn't say the two craziest ones. Mom liked two. The first real girlfriend, longtime girlfriend, and her. The only two she ever liked.
All right. So what is it?
And believe me, the line in between is long and not illustrious. She don't like the rest of them. The first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega.
Oh shoot! So tell me about the big time with the Big A, man. How did you You got to be living your best life right about now, doing your own thing. Like, how good has that been?
Everything's cooking. Lost 40 pounds to start the year, getting some weight off, and to get a hip sometime in the summer. Back at Finger Lakes, hauling some races, and yeah. So my man Andy Cooley, he's a Midwesterner. I don't know if Michigan counts, but I think it does.
Yeah.
Out in East Grand Rapids, came to visit me. Never met him before in my life. Walked into the booth at Finger Lakes on Veterans Day last year, and he said some of the nicest things anybody's ever said to me about how during COVID he found me and my old co-host at Naira, Andy Serling, doing TV and Talking Horses was the name of the program, and that, his family kind of he felt like I was in the living room with them. And
Yes.
you guys know this. You guys have been doing this a long time. When fans that turn into friends, he's one of my best friends now. When they say things like that to you, like that you're like part of the fabric, we feel like you're part of the family. You've done something.
Yeah.
Right? I can come on here and pick winners for the next 20 years. If everybody looks forward to hearing me and hearing us shoot the you-know-what, we've done what we're supposed to do. We're entertaining people and we're informing people.
That's the thing. That
Andy,
our listeners have said that from day one. From the minute years ago when we talked to you, they're like, oh, man, that guy's one of us.
You know what? The beauty is you guys are one of us too, and none of us are faking it. Because there's plenty of fakes out there.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, the big time with the Big A will expose the frauds. I am going to be the voice of the voice. I'm coming for everybody.
I love it.
Because
I know you're not joking. That's the thing.
But I'm going to do it with a smile. I'm going to have this big, fat, cheruby-looking face smiling from ear to ear when I kill him.
Just call him Cupid, the cherub. Big A. I'll tell you what, if you ever need a real one on the show but doesn't know anything about horse racing, because I tell DB, I pick my horses the way I pick my golfers, vibes only. If I get good vibes when I read the name, I'm like, that's my guy. If you ever need somebody that knows nothing about horse racing to shoot the stuff, let me know. I got you.
Ravi, as you would know, I only mess with 10, so that's just how it works for me.
Lord.
So the funny thing is, we'll do some stuff together because the Big Time with the Big A is just the first show. We're actually launching a little bit of a YouTube channel and network called the Fun and Games Network.
Okay.
And we'll have some of that artwork out there soon. You can follow. So right now you can follow me at the Big A Stabile. It's been that way for years. And then the show is Big A Big Time Show. And that's on Twitter. We have a Facebook page. And then please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Big Time with the Big A is the name of the show. Please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe so we can keep bringing you more content. I'm out there. We're going to be out there after this week. Obviously, a busy week with the Derby coming up. We're out there shopping the show, looking for sponsorship and stuff like that. So
shoot, my mom might be one of the first subscribers. Does she love horses? She thinks you're like the funniest person we've got on here. So she clearly has bad taste.
Your mom has great taste. Mom has great taste and a brilliant woman. Great taste and a brilliant woman.
Yeah, taught me how to eat my Italian. That's for sure. No sauce.
I haven't talked to Mama Benny yet. This is not, we gotta remedy that.
Hey, here's
but when I was a kid, if I could just finish the thought real quick, and then I'll let you guys take the show back. Most kids want to stay. Most of my friends in the neighborhood, they watched up. When they stayed up late at night, they asked to. They were trying to descramble the porn channel or something like that. I was watching Letterman and Carson. So I've always wanted to do something like this because no one's ever done this in horse racing, like have an actual traditional classic talk show. And we got sketch comedy on there. We're going to have educational segments. We'll have some gambling, but this is more to bring in the new fans and to bring the old fans back to remind them that this sport is not just on the day we're going to try and give out a winner. This sport is not just about gambling. It's a great sport. It's a great day out.
That's awesome. And the thing is, we went digital only. It's because we stream pretty big numbers. So now that you can say anything, and I mean, expletives get dropped all the time on this thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, Shane, you no longer have to be terrified. It's okay when we bring him on. Anybody can say anything, and we don't have to worry about the dump button. So we just shoot from the hip.
That is, you should not have told me that. I mean, that was the worst.
Well, I got a buddy. I got a buddy we bring on every Friday, and he has the same greeting every Friday, and it's an expletive.
What's up, effers?
Yep, every Friday.
That's like giving the proverbial, literal, and figurative fat kid the key to the refrigerator, telling me that I can just come on here unhinged. We talked about that with the show, with the big time. I was like, what do you guys want to do? Like, we're going to need a rating at some point. And they're like, just do your thing. And I was like, I think I said ballsy and shit in the first episode. See, this is what I mean. It's like just take your earmuffs and you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But we're thinking about it. We're going to try and be voice of the voice with a little edge there. But we're ready. Yeah, looking forward. And we, of course, one of my favorite spots of the year because we get to talk about the Kentucky Derby.
And here we go too, because with and it's tight in the middle, right?
Mm.
And you got your favorites that are kind of bunched, 3-1, 5-1, 6-1. I'm going to start by saying, for you, when you're capping this race, how important were the posts for you?
You know, it's always important, guys. But this year in particular, I was just worried about two. I think there's two horses in here that are hooves above the best.
Mm.
And unfortunately, they're the two morning line favorites. Now, my top pick is going to be the number 18 Sovereignty for Hall of Famer Bill Mott. He got the Duke back in 2019 with Country House, but that was by disqualification when all that nonsense happened with maximum security.
Mm.
So Bill's still looking for his first Derby winner to cross the line. And I think he could be it. And the other horse is Journalism, who is the favorite and who should be the favorite.
Mm.
He is, his nickname is King Kong. And it should be, because he is a brilliant looking specimen. He has a wonderful stride on him. Nothing seems to bother him. His biggest knock is he comes out of California and he's facing 5-horse fields for the most part.
Mm.
And now it's almost like in Days of Thunder, right? When Cole Trickle shows up and grabs Rowdy Burns' car and he sets the pole, and Rowdy Burns looks at him and says, all right, now go do it in a crowd. Now get your own car and do it in a crowd. That's the Derby mentality. And it's probably the biggest knock on this horse, because on the racetrack, he does very, very little wrong. But this is the kind of race where you can be affected by what others do. And he's in the 8-hole, and he should get away from there cleanly. But you always worry about that, because this horse has never really faced a gigantic field like that. None of them have, but they've faced 10 and 12 and bigger numbers than 5, certainly. So that's the biggest knock. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as horse flesh go, they're Jordan and Colby in this bunch. And I think they're that much better than the next. Whoever you think is the third horse, it's a long way back.
Is it Sandman? Is it Burnham Square? Is there somebody who is that for you?
So for me, it's Cole Battle. Now, this is going to sound really contradictory. Cole Battle finished third, and he's the number 16, and he's like 30-1 right now.
Yeah.
He finished third in the Arkansas Derby. The horses that finished first and second are both in here, Sandman and Publisher. Publisher is still a maiden, which means he's never won a race.
Mm.
Oh, wait, I can say what I want. It's like he's a virgin. He's never So it's very hard for me to think a horse is going to win the Kentucky Derby that's never won a race before.
Yeah.
That's number one. Sandman took advantage of a brilliant setup for him. They went very, very fast in the Arkansas Derby. Cole Battle made a first move into that Derby and then flattened out and then held on for third. So while the other two who ran 1-2 were the beneficiary of a hot pace, he kind of ran into the teeth of it and still ran well and had a really good winter overall. his connections are not known. This is their first Derby starter. This is their first like grade 1 starter besides the Arkansas Derby. And he's way too big of a price. He's been too consistent for me and ran too well against the dynamics of the race last time to let him in there. So can he win? Yeah. If there's a complete pace meltdown and the 2 top dogs don't show up or stub their toe, yeah, he can win. But for me, he's the 3rd horse, a little grande. I believe he's the number 10. He's making just his 4th start for trainer Todd Fletcher, John Velasquez. They've won 1,800 races together in their career as a trainer-jockey combo. He's going to be a big price. He came running late to finish 2nd in the Wood Memorial. That was his first try against this caliber. So he would be my 4th horse, I guess. Tistastic, I believe, is the 14. But the top 2 for me are head and shoulders above the rest.
So how do you differentiate between like Tistastic, who's right around 20-1, and not look at a horse like Citizen Bull, who's got 3 wins already, and it's a Baffert horse? Similar odds. Like, what's the difference?
Citizen Bull's a 2-year-old champ. He won the Breeders' Cup last year. He won the American Pharaoh, which are both grade 1 races, and he came into this year and he won his first start at Santa Anita impressively, and then he did not run well at all on the Santa Anita Derby, and now he's drawn the rail, which is he's
in the 1, right? It's infamous.
Yeah, it's infamous. So it's a lot better now since, I mean, when they used to have the 2 starting gates next to each other, the 1 literally started behind the rail. Now this new gate, the stalls are a tiny bit smaller, and it's a 20-horse gate. So he starts, but it's still not ideal. And there's some other speed horses in this. He's a front runner. But he'll have some company on the front end. I'm not a fan. So you look for horses like a horse like Tistastic will take advantage of all the speed in the race. He's actually been a mile and 3/16. So the Derby's a mile and a quarter. The rest of these, except Luxor Cafe, have never raced beyond the mile and an eighth. He's already went the 16th of a mile longer than the rest of the field. He gets Joel Rosario again. Steve Asmussen's been chasing the Derby for 25 years. You got to figure at some point he's going to win it. He'd be a horse I would use peripherally. Again, I don't know if he can win, but I certainly think he would be able to hit the exacta or the trifecta.
Big A, as we look at those top 2 horses you were mentioning earlier with journalism and sovereignty, how much are you going to worry about track conditions affecting those 2 specifically? And can track conditions, if they go a certain way, bring them closer to the rest of the pack?
Track condition certainly will play a role in this. I've been to the Derby twice, 2008 and 2009. And the girl I was with at the time was 12th on the bench if she was lucky at this point.
Who is she, Scotty Burrell?
Horrifying. I was with her for 14 years.
Craig Hodges?
It was like eating vanilla ice. Craig Hodges, don't mess with the 3-point champ, buddy. Please, do not mess with my boy.
It's more Judd Bushler.
Yeah. Mess with my boy.
Shoot.
More like Bill Wennington, the man the sub in for Bill Cartwright. St. John's own Bill Wennington. Gotta get my Red Stone plug in there. We went twice, and it rained both days on Friday, and we had a tornado touchdown like 3 miles from the track on Friday. Saturday, by the time the 5th race rolled around, they needed to add water. That's how well the track dried. The next year, almost the same conditions. The sun never came out Derby Day, and it stayed sloppy. There's enough time in between these pockets. I'm a little bit of a weather nerd too. That's an 80-1 shot in itself, but I'm a weather nerd. There's enough pockets of dry during these bouts of rain they're supposed to have the next 48 hours that they can whip that track back into good shape. So I don't think it's going to be that wet for the Derby. Maybe the rest of the day will, but remember, they run the 10th, the Derby's the 12th race. They run the 10th race on the dirt, and then they run the 11th race on the turf. Between the end of the 10th race and the start of the Derby, there's about an hour and 45 minutes in between. They can do an awful lot to the main track to make sure it's in the best shape possible between the 10th and the Derby. So I don't think it's going to be that wet. I don't think either one of them will have any kind of issue if it's a wet track. They're both bred to absolutely love a wet track, so their pedigree says that they'll like it. So you never know until they run on it, but it's not a concern for me.
Baffert doesn't usually ride with bums, and I get it. Mike Smith is almost 60. Well, he's got a good horse in Rodriguez. Can you separate the age of Mike Smith, or does it matter, versus the quality of the horse, considering it's a Baffert horse?
Mike is one of the nicest people in racing. Mike, I've had a very good relationship with Mike his entire career. Mike's like a fine wine. He's gotten better with age. He gave the horse a really good ride in the Wood Memorial. I would imagine the tactics will be a little different in here. That's the problem with Rodriguez. The problem with Rodriguez is he's a front runner, and his two best races were when he was clear on the lead.
Was he clear at Bluegrass?
No, Rodriguez ran in the Wood Memorial here at the Big A.
Okay,
here in Queens.
Got you.
When he got clear, the only two times he's won is when he's gotten clear, and I just don't see him being able to clear the lead by himself in the Derby. We call them need the lead types. I just don't think he's going to be able to clear the lead, and I think that's the biggest knock on him. Mike Smith is never a knock. Mike Smith is just one of the best to ever do it, and especially on a horse like this where he can try and ration out speed on the front end and then carry him home. Mike has one of the best left-handed whips in the game. He has for 30 years, and he's ridden some of the best race horses we've ever seen, namely the female variety. My nickname for Mike is the King of Queens. He loves it too. So we used to do a lot of radio together and stuff. Mike is, like I said, one of the best ambassadors for horse racing you can find, not only because he's been around so long, but because he really represents himself in the sport at the highest level. So always rooting for Mike personally, but it's hard for me to find either Baffert horse this year just because they have similar running types. They're both drawn inside, and it just looks to me like they're a little overmatched. I don't think they're as good as some of these others.
It's the easiest long shot for you because you mentioned Cole Battle right away, unsolicited, with some long odds. Is that it for you in terms of long shots?
Well, like I said, I'll use a little Tistastic. I think he's the 14. I'll use Grande. He's the number 10. I think
Grande's what, 20 to 1?
Yeah, he'll be around that price. Listen, some of those middling price horses, guys, like the Sandmans out there and a few of the others, I don't see them. They don't make any sense to me. So I'm gonna try and beat these horses, and I'm going to try and beat these horses to get some of the long shots in there.
This is the longest. Obviously, we've talked to you forever, and for as tight as this field is, in the middle of like the 12 to 1s to the 20 to 1s, this is about as clear cut as I can remember you being with who can win and who can't. You're not even him-hawing around. Like do you feel like you've capped this better, or the field is just that clean with what you're seeing?
I love this question. I absolutely love it. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I love this question because I am usually – this race usually gives me fits. I'm the beast of the Belmont. We know my Belmont record is impeccable. Just ask me. I'm a living legend.
Hey, I'm going to tell you 3 stories. Tell me which one's your favorite.
Exactly. These 2 horses, to me, and it's not even like about looking at the past performances. To me, it's like I watch these races, and it's 2 men running against 18 boys. That's really what it looks like to me. So it makes now you try not to go into handicapping any race, whether it's the Derby or the 4th race at Aqueduct later on today, with too many preconceived notions, if any. But when you look at this, when you watch these 2 horses run and watch them train in the morning, they're just better. They're just better than these horses. And sometimes, one of the most difficult parts about creating new fans is there are a lot of intangibles in horse racing, right? You want to go bet on a baseball game, you go bet on the Mets, or you go bet on the Diamondbacks. And if you bet on the Mets last night, you should want Carlos Mendoza's head on a platter. There's too many intangibles there's a lot of intangibles in horse races, hard to overcome. This Kentucky Derby would be a great lesson to bring in new fans, because it's like, hey, there's two horses in this race that, to me, are exponentially better than anything else going to run. And the truth of the matter is, if journalism had an East Coast prep race as opposed to everything being against the small fields in California, I probably wouldn't even pick against him. The only reason I'm picking against him is he's going to be the favorite. Sovereignty is going to be twice the price. And Sovereignty has overcome a lot more as far as running at Gulfstream Park, which is historically a speed track, while he closes ground. He's broken from outside posts. He's dealt with crowds. And again, at the end of the day, when you're talking about the gambling aspect of it, you want the best bang for your buck. And I'd rather take a shot on a horse that maybe he's 90% as good as journalism, but journalism's going to win and pay $8, and Sovereignty's going to win and pay 18. I'll take the 18.
All right, so give us a couple of combos that you kind of like, Big A.
So I'm betting the race. So I bet all the crazy stuff, and I'll put out my pick fives and stuff on Twitter for you people out there that really like the degenerates, the hardcore degenerates like myself and all my friends. But if you want to keep it simple, I would make 2 exacta boxes. I would box, and this is how strong my opinion is.
Okay.
I would box 8-18. That's journalism and Sovereignty. I would come back and make another exacta box, including Cold Battle, and then, if you want to make a trifecta box, you can make a 50-cent trifecta box and use the 5 horses I mentioned. So it's it's 8 journalism, in no particular order, 8 journalism, 10 grande, 14 Pistastic, 16 Cold Battle, and 18 Sovereignty. 50-cent trifecta box, those 5 numbers cost you $30. And if you hit that try and journalism's not in it, and 3 of those other horses run 1, 2, 3, you're probably going to turn your $30 into at least $1,500 or $2,000.
There we go.
I'll have one of those tickets. I'll have one of those tickets with those. I'll invest $30 for that. And when I say 1, I might need 4.
Listen, real talk. I was getting ready to say something just like that. By 1, you mean 21 is what I was going to say.
When Tonalist, and I don't remember, Damon, I don't remember if we were doing this yet when Tonalist won the Belmont. I think we might have hooked up a few years later. When Tonalist won the Belmont, I made a lot of money, like $35,000, $40,000. I made a lot of money. And my mom's my mom's favorite person. She'll be coming up tomorrow. And I'll be in Mohegan Sun, by the way. If anybody's on the East Coast, Mohegan Sun tonight from 7 to 9. It's me, my man Mike Matnansky, and Chantel Sutherland. And we'll be there tomorrow and Saturday too. So Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. If you're around, come on out. We have a great 3 days of festivities lined up. We got Woodford Reserve sponsoring the whole thing, so I'll be drunk half the time. It'll be fun.
I wish people knew you're not joking either. So it's like that's what makes it funny.
They bring me booze on stage. Like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
Yeah, that's what.
And apparently this year we have models.
Oh Lord!
I don't know what idea this is going to be.
Listen, who's going to be this year? Scott Brooks coming off the bench in '96 for the Knicks or something, man. It's like her and Walter McCarty, right?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna try and sign somebody to a 3-day contract today. I know they don't exist. Somebody to a 3-day contract tonight.
See, that's why you can't go get Jordan. He doesn't want to play with bums. Come on, man.
Listen, my man Brad Bryant that runs the Racing Sportsbook. I can't imagine there's going to be any bums there. I mean, it's a 3-day contract is just because of proximity at this point. I got to get back to Finger Lakes one day. So I'm just looking for a little 3-day contract, trying to just get through a couple of guys and make it through the weekend, man. I just want to get out of here in one piece and some money. Get a little 8-16 home.
Too much, man. I always appreciate you. We'll talk in a couple weeks.
Yeah, Preakness will be here before we know it.
Yes, sir.
Always great visiting, guys.
You got it.
Appreciate it, Anthony. That's our guy, Big A, Anthony Stabile. Legend, as always. Make sure you check out The Big Time with the Big A on YouTube. Support the people.
My mom's probably subscribing right now.
She probably already was subscribing.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah,
she can
does.
like listen to our. She
does. She knows
what she's
she knows what's going on with horse racing
and streaming.
Yeah, that's true. She's got it figured out.
And I'm gonna get over there because I got to bring her a prescription, and she's gonna say, "You make me sound so bad." No, we know your $12 goes a long way.
Like a little horse. Hey, listen, that $30 go a long way if you hit.
Like everybody perked up.
Yeah, we're like, oh, 30 into 1500s, you say?
Yeah, this is in my buddy Kevin's wheelhouse.
We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla, reminding you that you can make an impact just by choosing where to put your money. And you do that by banking locally, specifically with a credit union. Credit unions embrace the philosophy of people helping people, meaning they reinvest in the communities they serve. And that's why we love Centrus Federal Credit Union. It's a perfect example of that. And in 2024 alone, they reinvested $250,000 back into the communities, and their employees donated over 1,900 volunteer hours. There really is a credit union difference. Check out centrusfcu.org to find out more. Federally insured by NCUA. Man, our guy Big A is wild.
Yeah, he's a trip.
Love that dude.
He did send me to the greatest Chinese restaurant that I've ever been to.
That's right, when you're out there for the bowl game.
Yep.
He also sent you to maybe the shadiest restaurant you've ever been to in your life.
Yeah, it was.
Did you have to sign a 3-day contract?
I felt like it. That or I needed a tetanus shot.
I felt like you had to sign a waiver, not holding anybody responsible
My
for your
man had
well-being.
me just rolling to Hell's Kitchen. They tried to get me to come out to Long Island. And the Steelers were playing the Chiefs, so this was Christmas Day.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, man, if you'd have given me another hour, I'd have sent you a call. Like we were just trying to hook it up. And I was like, nah, Ryder, she's trying to go see Statue of Liberty with her mom and this, that, and the other. And I was just going to chill.
Yeah.
And I bet you we told jokes for probably, which for me is an eternity, probably an hour.
Yeah.
Because there was no substance to the call, right? We were just.
Yeah, we're just shooting the breeze.
Yeah, he is a funny dude.
Yeah, he's wild. He's out there.
I mean, he's not playing either.
No, like that, you can tell it's just who he is.
Yeah.
Right?
He's a good dude. And he's gone through a ton, too. So remember when he got he's like Luther Vandross. He used to be like Big Luther, then Little Luther.
Yeah.
And then Big Luther.
Kind of the weights fluctuated a little bit.
Yeah. So when he puts his mind to it, he's not quite as rangy as Vers. Because Verzal can lose 30 pounds in like 30 days.
Yeah, he'll get after
it. It is incredible what he can do fluctuation-wise. But Big A's like that too. He looked good though. I checked out the little pod.
And then you green lighted him. I was tensing up there.
Yeah, I know. He's very crass.
He can be colorful,
but he's a good dude.
Yeah. No, he actually wasn't. I mean, compared to some of our other guests, he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
We've certainly had.
He's not as uncouth as some.
Uncouth.
Your parents used to ever drop that on you?
No, I don't think that. It wasn't.
Couth. What is couth?
That wasn't.
I'm tripping.
That wasn't in the. That wasn't in the repertoire.
So our guys, I don't know what the weather's like, you guys. I know everybody's kind of going through it. Our guy DC, David Coe.
Oh yeah.
Huge capper. For horses. Degenerate Aaron loves horses.
Yeah.
My buddy Kevin,
Big Kev,
loves horses. Like a lot of people like horses, man. I don't get it because it's such a crapshoot.
So I don't really get into the betting.
I don't even know how.
So that's the thing. Is when he's talking about trifectas and exactas and stuff like that, I would need a tutorial. Like I would need somebody to go with me.
I'm guessing you're gonna be like, duh. But exactas means the exact finish, and if you box it, I think it's any combination.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He's like, yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what I'll do usually is I'll place one bet just as a winner, just because I like having whatever. But that's all I'll do because I don't understand the rest of it at all.
Yeah.
But I do like going and placing, $20 or something on just whatever name I like the best.
So I will say this, relative to other sports, it does seem like a very cheap way to gamble.
Yeah. Now I think it's hard.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Like
$30 to get 1,500 is crazy.
Or 50 cents or $1 or
yeah.
Like just some of these weird. I'm like, how?
Yeah. I don't really understand it.
Well, and it's very cheap, and you can do that like when you go to the track, and you can spend just $10, and then you can do that for like over a couple hours, and you're doing 50 cents or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of how you eat like for a week, right? That's why you make the course.
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah, seriously.
No, Shane, I listened to you. Yeah. Was that Tuesday?
Yeah.
Where he was picking his lunch spot.
When he's like, well, I can eat this for 3 days.
My man picked his lunch spot based on dinner for the next 3 days.
Yeah. No, I still got today.
Well, I tell you, God made you special.
And he loves you very much.
The bunny. The bunny. I just think
you
of
big VeggieTales guy?
Yes, I am. With Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
That's right, man. I don't. You don't got to tell me about VeggieTales.
Listen, I have.
That was like my youth.
I bet you we have 20 VeggieTales DVDs.
Yeah, we had a ton of them. We had them back in the day when they were VHSs. Like we had Larry Boy and all that kind of stuff.
So we were at Dream City for Easter, and he referenced Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and I'm like, in my head, I went to the bunny song.
The bunny.
Oh, I love the bunny. Yeah. I'm like, this is really bad. I'm 50. This is very childlike.
So you know what's funny is, so Natasha, whenever she's like cooking up vegetables or something at work, every time she gets to like, there's parts of the songs that like talk about all the different vegetables. She's like, every time I do it, I just start singing the VeggieTales songs in my head.
Hey, look at Travis's last response on here.
What Travis?
Hey, it's in relation to.
Oh, where's my hair? Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was the first one I ever saw.
Hey, who is notorious for always having their hairbrush with them?
You.
Yes. That thing is like my blue blanket.
It's like that and your rubber gloves always with you.
It looks yeah. If I would have broke those out to eat.
Oh, the comments.
I just wasn't interested because Rico would have gone all in.
He would have.
At least Brandon would have had some tact. Rico just would have lost his mind.
So I don't know because I think Rico's a little scared of you still.
I'm like the coolest one though.
Yeah, but you know that would have been a meme.
So the comments on the video when it goes out, that's what would have got you on the gloves. If you're out there and we put out the video on the
the forks. So the young lady, like she's like, I don't know why I keep taking your fork. I'm like,
jacking your silverware.
I'm like, listen, my plate is easy. It's the only one with silverware on it. Just give it here. You know what I mean? But she was so cool.
No, she was super nice. Yeah.
At one point, I did feel bad for her though.
Why?
Because it was like herding cats.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, they're just cracking jokes, and I'm like, oh god, we need to button this.
So does the gloves help?
I didn't use them.
Well, it keeps the sauce off your fingers.
I didn't use them.
I thought you were going to. And I was like, man, the social media comments are gonna crush you.
And you know what's funny though is because for as crazy as I am or can snap,
yeah,
I'm by far, Shane, of all the co-hosts that he's ever been with, because I've only had him as my producer for 20 years.
Yeah,
I'm easily the nicest. Yes or no? No. Hey, I'll let him talk. I'll let him talk. And it's not going to offend me.
No, you're the nicest.
Who's the easiest one to get along with?
You.
Was it Bob Bruce?
Yeah.
Was it Kevin?
Well, yeah.
Was it Franklin? Was it Severe? Certainly wasn't A-Rod. And you know it's not this dude.
I'm super.
You saying it wasn't JP?
What do you? Some of the names he used to make up for you, I'm like, you can't. I'm like, Jason, that's not even nice. That little pint-sized sawed off. I'm like, Jason.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He was so nice.
I forgot he even existed in like this space because he was only there for like a month, right?
We're at practice.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's virtually closed. It's me, him, and Foreman.
Yeah.
Just kind of chopping it up. To the right of us, about 20 feet, is Troy Dannon and somebody of significance.
Okay.
There's two parents behind us because they're outside kind of along the rail because parents can come see their kids.
Mm-hmm.
My man totally forgot where he was.
Okay.
And I could vibe with him
because just killing somebody.
All three of us have daughters.
And their parents are there?
All three of us have daughters.
Yeah.
So we're talking about raising girls in athletics.
Okay.
And he's talking about a conversation that he's having real time with his wife. And it was so funny and awkward at the same time. Jay and I just kept inching ourselves away because he forgot where he was. He was like, do I talk to you about dress? and style and hair and cheerleading and any old MFing bleepity bleep 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 thing? No. So when it comes to sports and bleepity bleep 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 competition, don't bleepity bleep 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 bleep. Like, let me be the dad. And just loud. I'm like, oh my God, I think he's going to lose it.
You're like, bro, I need you to chill.
Hey, Foreman tapped him on the arm and kind of was like, buddy.
That's always the awkward one. We're like, hey, man, can you just like,
hey, then he came back and he goes, hey, I was probably saying too much right there, but you guys know what I mean. I was crying. Just a 70-second profanity-laced tirade, and I'm sure people are like,
what's wrong with that, man?
Is he going to be all right?
You going to be all right?
So funny,
Rico
dude.
says Damon is scary.
I'm not.
No, so here's what I mean by
nicest person.
Here's what I mean by scary is I think you intimidate some people, especially the younger people on staff, because they don't really like know you.
Yeah.
And so I think they get kind of
like going out to
I think they get a little intimidated by DB.
What's the place that we have the really good partnership with?
Which one?
When they made you do the lights.
Lorison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those poor people,
yeah.
that was the first time they had been around me, and like I'm like joking about the badminton and the horseshoes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys, you realize I'm a child. Ambrose, she's looking at me like, I think this dude is nuts.
Well, like the camera people are like, I can see them like looking at each other, like, what's happening? What's like Kyle's looking back at like Logan and
Froling. Like,
yeah.
If I'm comfortable, I'm super cool.
Yeah.
It's just,
I think some people don't know you, so they're just like a little intimidated by you.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like people think. I'm a child.
Austin says, I've received a spooky text from DB before, but it was warranted.
Okay, so
I actually was mad at him.
I know you were.
And I was not playing.
So to go back on,
I was like, hey, look, man, let me know how we're going moving forward. I'll play. I'll be just fine.
You tell me the rules and I'll play.
That's exactly what I said.
So to go back on your question, yes, you're probably one of the nicest ones.
Yeah.
But I will tell you who the nicest has been.
Who?
Terry Leahy. I mean, you can't get any more nicer than that.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Terry Leahy is.
I mean, I just thought of that. Yeah.
Omaha hockey?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is. I appreciate even being in that discussion because he's about as good a person.
Yeah.
I'll take a back seat. I got no problems with that. Terry is the GOAT. The GOAT.
Yeah, so I told Rico when he started, because you know how he makes the guest infos, and the third one's usually something kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, Rico, I know you can make fun of me. That's cool. I was like, don't go too hard at the guests because, like I want them to feel like they enjoy coming on here. And I was like, hold off on DB until he knows where you're coming from. Because that's the thing about you, is if you know it's coming
from... I'm some
monster. No. If you know it's coming from a good place, you let people say anything.
They can.
If you don't know yet where it's coming from, then it's like, hey, you need to chill.
Yeah.
So that's what I told Rico. I go, hey, once he knows you're coming from a good place like I already do, Rico could say some out-of-pocket stuff to me, and we're cool.
You could tell he's got it in him, too.
Oh, yeah, he does.
That dude's like giggling Gary.
He does. But I was like, you got to wait until DB knows it's coming from a good place, and then you can we'll take the kid gloves off. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. If we're riding, you can.
He says he apologizes in advance for what he says to you when he gets comfortable.
Does he not listen to me and you? You're the worst.
That's what I told him. I was like, DB lets me get away with a ton.
I mean, you're not as bad as Mosman.
Mosman's out there. T-Mose is out there.
Dude.
I like T-Mose, though.
Is that right?
Yeah, we've hung out.
Foreman's horrible, too.
So I don't know Foreman as well. I like Foreman. I don't know him as well.
Listen, it was so bad one time. Verzal's the worst.
Yeah.
But I had to pull a Verzal with Foreman.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, look, man, I know it's snowy out. You think I can't drive? I said, I can be in your driveway in 48 minutes. He said, look, brother, it ain't even that serious. You need to calm the bleep down. I said, listen, stop cussing at me.
I don't like it. I don't like it when people swear at me.
How about Dumas? We're giving tours. And he's talking to Coach Rule, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely my better half. Kept me out of trouble, he and Abdul. And Trey goes, well, I kind of kept you out of trouble. I didn't do a good job all the time. I'm like, really? The first time I went to jail was because of you. So if you're going to tell the story, tell it all. He was speechless. I'll put it out there.
The first time I went to jail, it was because
that was because I was fighting you. Like you did that. Don't put that on me.
We didn't get to why is Wardell up there today?
Oh, so Steph is
Put that
up
crap
there.
on me.
Steph is up there because they protected him after he was getting his teeth kicked in. They're like, we're going to keep the mileage on his legs.
Yep.
We know he's got one more in him. He's going to get playoff Jimmy back.
Yep.
He's going to let Houston and Thompson, those guys, talk crazy to him.
Mm-hmm.
Wardell will be back.
Yeah. Sunday, got him.
Yeah.
Feel good?
I do.
They're 4.5-point favorites.
Yeah. So these lines have kind of all been similar.
Yeah. 4.5 one way, 4.5 the other.
Same with the clip joint and the Nuggets. And
Mhm.
Dvorak is up here because I just wanted to do you're good at your job day.
So Steph and Dvorak, very good at their job.
Rob is and I think I adopted him last year, right? So he's off the table this year.
I mean, he could be a 2-year rental if you want.
Nah.
No, you want somebody else?
I'll do somebody else.
Have you decided who it is yet?
I
think I know where you're leaning. I think. Because you've brought him up before.
So I've gotten Sat.
And
Sat was year 1.
And Dvorak.
Dvorak was year 2.
Yeah.
So they're off the table. I don't know where I'm leaning. I know where you think I'm leaning.
Oh, I think it's where you're leaning.
Addison?
No.
Oh, then don't tell me because I won't do it just because.
Yeah, I know you'll be.
And I'm honest enough to tell you that.
Yeah, and you're petty enough to do it.
Yeah.
You're like, well, they just thought this is what I was going to do, so I'm not going to do it, even if it was what I was going to do.
Who do I sound like? Just Coach Rule. Oh, you want me to hire that guy? I'm not.
2 peas in a pod.
No.
You want me to recruit that guy? Nah.
Nah. Hey, he said the other day, he goes, what am I even doing? How did we get here? Am I going to regret this? No, man, just hang in there. Hang in there. You got this.
What context?
We were talking about.
Yeah.
Obviously, Marty.
I was going to say, you can't shut up.
I'm just doing like the old man walk.
Terrible radio. You know, I need to go spend some time with the mayor. I haven't seen Joel in a while.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He hasn't chimed in a while either.
So he goes in and out. He knows when to
some
disconnect
people, some people are everyday commenters. Some people kind of float in and out.
He'll come back when it's important.
They're usually watching though.
Stalkers.
Much like was it the police?
Depends on your context.
I meant the band.
Oh, like Synchronicity Police?
Yeah,
like Every Breath You Take?
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was thinking of. I'll be watching you.
There's a little black spot on the sun today.
Boom. Sting.
Was he still with the police then, or was he just Sting? I was never a Sting guy.
Yeah?
No. I mean, I liked him in Dune, but that was it.
Was he in Dune?
Yeah.
The old one?
Yeah.
Okay. Not the new one.
It's my brother's favorite movie maybe of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Or the new ones.
It's complicated, so I didn't get back into it. I never understood it.
There's a lot of backstory and kind of.
I just like the fat guy that they pulled the plug out of, and he got all pimply and died. It's like I thought of cartoons like when you. Never mind.
That's a weird place to go.
With his heart plug.
Yes.
I know the movie.
It's a weird place to go.
But I've never seen the new ones.
That a guy was deflating, or
no? That your favorite part of the movie is they unplugged this guy and he got all weird and died.
You make it sound. Is that how I look at that commercial?
You gonna sing a song about it?
Don't know why I got into that day. It was Keith Jardine in the UFC. And
I'm just saying. Sometimes you say things and you're like, oh, it doesn't sound that weird, and then I repeat back the exact same thing you say, and you're like, you made it sound bad.
Well, because I know what I'm actually thinking in my head.
I know, but I'm repeating to you what it sounds like to everybody else. Because we only have access to what you say. We don't know what's happening in the head.
Sorry, guys and gals.
When it comes to the bad guy in that movie, that was a.
So which one was it? Was it the guy with the red spiky hair, the fat guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he had the heart plug.
Okay, so was Sting a good guy or a bad guy?
Sting was a bad guy. He was like one of his right-hand guys.
And they're trying to like acquire the spices, right?
They're trying to acquire the governorship over the
spice
moon,
trade.
The spice trade, the moon that has the planet that has the spice.
Does that make sense?
Not even a little bit.
And spice was used to time travel.
So we're just going back to like the 1800s again, like English are trying to rule the world, just get some spices, and then they don't use any of it on their food.
Not like tea?
Nope, that's not spice. Spices.
It's this over here with the Boston Massacre.
Boston Tea Party, I think you're thinking of.
Shane the Revolutionary. Oh, shoot. What is wrong?
I don't even recognize what we're doing.
I don't either, but it's fine.
You don't drink tea?
I hate tea.
I don't.
I like tea. Green tea is good.
Tea guy.
A little peach
Although
in it.
green tea is fire.
I'll do a little iced tea every now and then. Maybe a little iced tea lemonade. Arnold Palmer.
I watched him in Ricochet last night. I forgot he was in it.
Iced tea?
Yeah.
Which
1991, Denzel, Ricochet. He had the little cookie duster.
What's the
John Lithgow?
What's the knockoff Rambo? What was that one called?
Flint.
For some reason, I thought that one was called Ricochet.
No, Flint. It is the Russian Rambo. By the way, you're looking for a winner?
What do we got for winners?
The clip joint. Lay the 6.
Oh, all right. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. More Hurrdat Sports Live tomorrow.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.